aggressively pursuing victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Whether you're a working professional or an active dad, Game Day Men's Health in Tuscaloosa offers convenient expert back care for all men looking to feel and perform their best. They specialize in testosterone therapy, ED, weight loss therapy, and peptide therapy. Their easy 3-step personalized treatment plan will get you on the right track to feeling and performing better. All you have to do is stop by Game Day Men's Health at 1013th Street East in Tuscaloosa for a free consultation.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 20.
Who we got in here? Jake, what's up? Willis, what's going on? Money, what's up? Sorry, guys. I'm not going to lie. The stream was a little all over the place this morning. I thought I had already scheduled it yesterday, and I was excited. So I'm like, look, man, normally I do it in the morning. But then I got to my desk. I'm like, hold on. I'm thinking it's all set up to go, and I'm just going to click the go live button. And all of a sudden I realized I did everything but finish the setup. But it doesn't matter, man, because, look, everybody's rolling in here quick, fast, in a hurry, man. I love it. If you guys are new, welcome in. This is the Miller's Edge. If you guys are returners, well, welcome in. You guys already know what to expect. In terms of what we got on in store for today, I'll say this. We got Gray Robertson at 12:30. We'll talk everything that's going on, plus the semifinals, talk a little bit about that. We're definitely going to be talking a whole bunch about transfer portal additions for sure. I've been watching the tape on these guys. I'll pull it up a little bit, but I got a lot of thoughts on some of these new players, especially the ones that have committed. So I'll offer those. And want to talk with you guys because, again, we don't have a guest until 12:30, so about an hour and 15 minutes out. So if you guys want to jump on the phone lines, do it around starting at 11:30. Call in at 11:30, and I'll hit the phone lines until we get Gray Robertson on the phone. Now, I did text HaHa. Now, I know he's got Black Air Force energy on Twitter now, but I want him to come on the show. I want him to call in and jump on the show. He's been on the show before. I don't think he Oh, and Chase just texted breaking news. Is it Devon or Devin? We'll go with Devin because it's an A-N. Devin Tomkins has just committed to Alabama. So we got somebody else to talk about. Boom. All right. So we're going to be talking transfer portal pretty much until we get Gray on here. And we'll still talk about it with him as well. But in terms of HaHa, I just sent him a text because, he's still – I thought I was like, all right, he's not crashing out, but he's going in right now. Talking about yesterday. I'm going to let him set a little bit. So I texted him now, and then I just realized he's still posting pictures of Black Air Forces. So, he's not slowing down. So I'm like, look, if he's doing all that on Twitter, man, come on the show, man. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about it with him. So we'll see if he'll call him. Or let us call him, I should say. All right, here we go. We're about to come back now. If you guys haven't, man, you already got you know what to do. Hit that like button. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, let's jump right into it, Chase. I know we just got started on the stream, so welcome in, you guys. But again, we hit that first segment on radio. I didn't have everything set up like I thought I did. Kind of crazy. I thought I was jumping the gun, but literally ended up doing the opposite. That said, where do we start, Chase? Where do we start? Well, let's do this. Let's start because there's breaking news. Let me just say the breaking news, but then we'll circle back to the young man. 3 minutes ago, this is the latest tweet and the latest update regarding the transfer portal for Alabama. Perfect timing while we're doing the show. USC standout transfer defensive lineman, I'm going to say Devin because it's an A-N, Devin Tomkins, has committed to Alabama through 2 seasons. He has totaled 55 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 5 pass deflections. 5 pass deflections, man. He gets his hands up, man. He's a lengthy guy, so that's a good little stat to throw in there. Top 3 defensive linemen in the portal, per on 3 transfer portal industry, all that stuff. Cool. I'll say this. My initial thoughts regarding Devin Tomkins, because we watched this tape a little bit yesterday. And you guys know I'm very honest. I'm very transparent in a very respectful manner. But I got to be completely straight up with you guys. My initial thoughts and we only got to watch one, I guess, really like one game of his. Not as much as some of the other guys. What I see out of him, lengthy guy, I think he's 6'5", 290, a lot of versatility, right? He can play across the whole defensive line. He's lined up at nose. He's lined up at in a 3 technique, 4-eye. I've even seen him line up in a 5 technique. What's interesting about him is he's kind of a tweener, in my opinion. Right? Versatility is great, but he feels like a tweener to me, and here's why. In this system, we play with the nose, we play with tackles, right? Like James Smith type deal. And we also have a bandit who is a strong side end, but also has to, play inside, plays a lot of 4-eye technique, sometimes a 3, definitely in the 5 a lot. I feel like this guy kind of fits between a bandit / defensive tackle. It's almost like he's really big for a bandit, but then he's a little, I wouldn't say that he's not small for a D tackle, but you get my point, though. He's a longer athletic type defensive tackle. That said, I think he's definitely a great addition. Watching his tape, my initial reaction, I liked his hand usage. He's a technical guy. He seemed to advance when it came to, pass rush ability, having good rush awareness, knowing when to counter, having a good feel for those things. In terms of just initial power and strike, you know what I mean, coming off the football, he didn't seem like the most powerful guy, just in my opinion, just off the limited amount of tape I saw him, just being completely honest. But again, maybe that was, there's probably much more of a sample size we can watch. What I'm getting at is he strikes me more as probably a better fit for this system, allowing guys to penetrate, right? I mean, now if we're talking more of like a true 2-gap system, I don't know if he would have been the best fit. With what Kane Womack has been doing and what he wants to do, I think this guy kind of fits that mold. So I think he's a good fit. I would love to see a little bit more, power out of him, a little bit more explosiveness in terms of especially, stopping the run, being a little bit more physical in that category. But the good news is we need some pass rush help. I think this guy can definitely help with that, just, by his technique and his skill set alone with that. I'll pull up some more tape so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. And again, I'm sure there's probably better tape and he probably, has, more stuff to show. But from what I had initially saw, there's, again, not everybody's going to be elite in one area or good in an area, and they might have an area they might need to work on a little bit. His run stopping ability, I want to see more clips of that before I get a full impression. But initially, there is a little bit left to be desired. But he can get after the quarterback. Cool, we'll take that. Definitely adds to the room, which we need more bodies there. We talk about offensive line. Well, now we're in a pretty similar predicament on the defensive side of things, guys. Another note that I forgot to hit is that we lost another defensive lineman last night, late in the evening. We got the news that Kelby Collins entered the transfer portal, and that's why I said yesterday on the show, there's a good chance this isn't done. And I even was talking about, the defensive side of things. There's a good chance you still see some names pop up. He ended up being one of those. So who does that leave us with? Now let's talk about who we have right now and how this guy fits in the picture, even though we kind of just did that. But in terms of Bandit, well, LT Overton has gone to the draft, so you lose him. You lose all your production from that spot alone pretty much with him leaving. But then behind him, you looked at the position with Keon Keeley, Jordan Renaud, Kelby Collins, and the young man from JUCO that we got last year. His name's slipping my mind right now, but you got Cavante Henry. So you had some options behind. Nobody necessarily that really, I guess, like stood out immediately other than, maybe Keon could step up, Jordan Renaud, but still you weren't completely sold there. But even with that, now you had, two of those guys, two of the 4 I just named transfer. So now you're literally left with only Jordan Renaud and Cavante Henry. And then you obviously have the young guys coming in like the freshmen. So I think this guy will be versatile. This is how I see him fitting in. I think, he's going to probably move around the defensive line, definitely play a lot of tackle, play a little bit of bandit at times, just depending on where you need him maybe. But it all just depends because he's like that 290-ish range. At least that's what he's listed at. I mean, he could be a little bit lighter than that, could be a little bit heavier. I think it really just depends on that. But does it say, let's see, through 2 seasons. So I'm assuming he still has 2 years of eligibility left. So the guy still is also developing at the same time. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he gets even bigger and plays primarily tackle. I don't really know. I don't know a whole bunch about him, but my initial impression is definitely has some pass rush ability, got a lot of length. He does a nice job playing with separation. Would just like to see a little bit more power, you know what I mean, coming off the football, especially in terms of, stopping the run. But that's what coaching's for. Hopefully we can get a little bit more out of him. Let me see some of these comments. Per the tape yesterday, I guess he's got some footwork drills to work on. Yeah, and that's another point. Footwork to me was a little But again, we're talking about a guy that's 6'5", 290. So I don't want to be too picky. But again, I'm just giving you my honest impression when I turn on the tape, which we're going to watch more of it now. Now that he's committed, we're going to go back and watch some more tape of him. But until we get to that, a couple other things I want to hit that I didn't mention, and this is a big one, and I'll throw this out here now, but we'll talk about it here in a minute. Another big news, I don't know if I'd call it breaking just yet because I guess we're probably a little past due. This happened about an hour ago, but Tai Simpson has finally made his official decision on his future, on what he will be doing next year. We were wondering kind of what his move was going to be because that determined how it really has had a big impact on what this team was going to look like. Well, it's now come out that Alabama quarterback Tai Simpson officially has declared for the NFL draft. So we're going to talk about our thoughts on that, but also what that means for this football team. Just initially, just off the top of my head, man, we talked about this other day. I look at it like this. I don't think Tai really could have gone wrong either way. Here's why. I feel like he's going to be, regardless of how the second half of the season went, is it going to definitely raise some more question marks for some of the NFL personnel, the people in the front office, scouts, GMs, head coaches? Yeah, sure. However, when you look at this year's quarterback draft class, I feel like it's not as strong as it probably could be or has been in the past. And listen, at the end of the day, a lot of people think the draft is all about production, but a lot of the times it's really about potential, how these people see you fitting in with what they want to do. And what I do know is for the first half of the season, people were ranting and raving about Tai Simpson and his ability pre-snap to get in and out of things, get things set up, operate, you know what I mean? Like he commanded his offense very much in a professional manner, unlike many other college quarterbacks could do. Now, did he have issues down the stretch in terms of consistency? Sure, right? But we've already talked about it from a football perspective. Not everything was entirely on this young man, right? He didn't have a running game. Offensive line play was inconsistent, right? So while he had some struggles 100%, he also didn't always have the most help. Same thing for Jalen Milroe, which kind of hate it because it's like, man, like Milroe had the same issues he dealt with, but no one cared to, even include that. And everybody, had pitchforks and ran him out. And luckily, Tai doesn't have to worry about it. And I'm glad Tai doesn't have to worry about it because nobody should have to worry about that. But it's just kind of weird to me that the different perspectives on that. But that's another topic for another day. But I don't think Tai could have gone wrong. That said, because Tai is probably going to be a first-round quarterback taken in this draft. And I think if he ends up getting picked a little bit later in the first round, he probably goes to a better situation where maybe he's not immediately needed as a day one type guy, which I think would be huge. I think Tai would have benefited tremendously coming back to school in terms of getting another year, some more experience, developing even further before going to the next level. But I think it's all about the right situation. And I think as long as he goes to a team that doesn't necessarily need him day one and they allow him some time to play behind somebody else and develop, I think that's a great situation for him. I think he's going to end up being a really good quarterback. So congrats to Tai. I think that's big. And now we got to turn our attention to what's next for us here at Alabama, where you got Keelan Russell, the star freshman that everybody's excited about. Then you also got Austin Mack. I think this decision, I think those guys are probably waiting, and probably more so Austin Mack maybe, on the decision of Tai. Now it's kind of a question chase of, all right, well, Austin Mack can choose to stay another year and compete, knowing he's competing against Keelan Russell, a young guy. And it's kind of, I wouldn't call it a gamble, but it is kind of a gamble because I'm sure Austin Mack is fielding plenty of opportunities, right? We know how this thing works. You got a 6'6", 235 quarterback that's shown he can play the game, he can spin it, good athlete. Teams are going to be interested in his services. Now that Ty's gone, it's back to an open competition here in Tuscaloosa. And he was the backup this year. So he's got a good chance in terms of, at least you would think so, a fair opportunity in that quarterback competition. However, Keelan Russell is a very talented young man. They recruited him. He was their first prize recruit here in Tuscaloosa. Now, yes, Austin Mack came from Washington. So there's some, strong connections with both young men. Personally, I don't know what ends up happening. I really don't. But we're going to talk about it. And I want to get y'all's thoughts. How do you feel like this whole thing plays out? We now know the first step has taken place. Tai made his decision. He's going to the NFL draft. Now it's an open quarterback competition. What do you guys think happens? Do you think Austin Mack sticks around and competes for that quarterback one job here in Tuscaloosa? You think he don't risk it? Because we know, Keelan Russell probably, not even going to say probably, Keelan Russell is the future here in Tuscaloosa, right? I mean, they brought him here for a reason, but you can't forget about Austin Mack. I mean, he's a good player as well. So Chase, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. So we just have to keep monitoring it and figure it out. But I don't know. I think with the news of Tai Simpson declaring, Chase, I think there's a better chance that we see both guys stick it out here in Tuscaloosa. I initially thought there could have been one of them leaving, more than likely Mac. But now that Tai is officially declared, I don't know. That might change. So we'll talk about that and more. But first, we got to hit a timeout to stay on schedule. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Don't go anywhere again. 1230, we'll have Gray Robertson, Crimson Tide Sports Network, SEC Network. Join us talking semifinals plus transfer portal, all things Alabama. And we're going to continue talking about transfer portal. We got some tape to break down. I got some more thoughts on all these guys, and I'll give them to you right when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown.
What do you guys think? So I know we're jumping around a little bit, but that was big news. I had to throw that one out there. That's right, Kat. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button. You guys have been killing it. Seriously, man. Man, we hit 335, 215, and then today we're at 22. So we're at 22. We got like 77 people in here. Let's see if we can get that up to 50. Let's see if we can get 50 in here real quick. See when we get 50 during this break. We got 80 people in here. We got like 22 likes. If you guys haven't, man, just hit that like button real quick. We always appreciate it. You guys have been killing it. Seriously. Likes have been through the roof. If it's close, go with Keelan. And I'm pronouncing it Keelan because I was saying Keelan at first. And then I was talking to one of his high school teammates. I was on a visit here, and he was like, Keelan, it's Keelan. I was like, damn, well, my bad. I'm like, shit, nobody knows how to pronounce these names nowadays, man. Like, even like the young man that just committed, like, is it Devin? Is it Devon? I mean, I gotta, like, I know a Devon. I know I have a cousin named Devin, and it's spelled damn near the same, man. I'm bad with names. Russell's not ready. Let us play out. I'll say this. For all the people that were thinking, like, you should throw Keelan out there this year, I've seen him, like, in person through practices and whatnot. Putting him out there this year wouldn't have been the right move. And those coaches knew that. That's why, you know, he it wasn't that he won, right? You guys got to see him in several games. Like, does he have the talent? 100%. I mean, he could have definitely made some plays. But what comes with that is some more freshman mistakes. You know what I mean? So imagine throwing a true freshman out there. I don't care how much talent they have in a situation where there's no running game, offensive line play is inconsistent, and he's going against and having to read these defenses that, I mean, fresh out of high school, the Oklahomas, the Georgias, the LSUs with Baker. I mean, yeah. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Like, Keelan is, for this year, I'm talking about this past season, I mean, in practice, so impressive. But he was due to throw a couple picks in practice, just being completely honest, which is normal, completely normal for a young guy. But to your point, we're talking about for this upcoming season. And I think he'll be ready by then. I mean, because he's got the tools, he's got the traits. I mean, and he processes things quick. So, I mean, he's close. You know what I mean? He just need a little bit more time. So I wouldn't say he's not ready. If you're talking about y'all had to go play, or if they had to go play a national championship right now, yeah, maybe not. But I would assume by September, he should be ready to roll. It's Mac, Russell, and ready. Dang, all you guys think he's still not ready. Only has 1 year under the system versus 3 versus Mac. Maturity matters. I'm with you guys about the maturity piece, but I'm just telling you from seeing him, man, like, he's ahead of where a lot of guys would be. He just wasn't there this football season. Y'all don't think he'd be ready by year 2, having a whole nother offseason? I do respect y'all's thought process in terms of actually having guys ready, because a lot of people just completely disregard that. Jake thinks Mac leaves. Yeah, it's interesting, man. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to keep reading y'all's comments. We're about to come back now. Hold on. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Man, we're kind of jumping around all over the place, but that's expected this time of year, right, Chase? I mean, it's a little chaotic. So we're talking a little bit about the latest addition via the transfer portal. This young man right here, defensive lineman transfer from Southern Cal, Devin Tomkins. Again, I'm going to pull up some tape so you guys can see him a little bit, better, not just these little highlights. We're going to actually watch a whole game so you guys can see what I've seen, at least for the first game. But then we started talking a little bit about the whole quarterback situation. So we'll stick there for a second since we're on that topic, and we'll jump back to the portal additions here in a minute. But I'm reading some of the comments. Chase, I even want to get your thoughts because, again, Tai Simpson officially declares for the NFL draft. We're all wishing him best of luck. Great time here. Listen, I want to speak on this real quick, and I reached out to Ty. Hopefully we can get him on the show here one of these days because he was supposed to come on before the season started, but the whole media stuff there got caught up. But anyway, man, respect the guy like Ty. He waited his turn, right? That hits close to home. I was a guy that waited my turn. I respect young men that are mature enough and patient enough to see things through like that. Very prideful to play football here. And he earned his opportunity, man. I mean, he went through a couple quarterback battles, didn't win them. He kept fighting. He had opportunities to transfer, but he decided to stay behind and keep working and getting better and better, hopefully winning that starting quarterback job eventually. And that's what he did this past year. Had some highs, had a couple lows at times, definitely was some ups and downs. He fought through adversity, fought through injury, but ultimately, man, he was a team guy, ultimate competitor, left it on the line even to the last game where he literally had a fractured rib and tried everything in his power to go out there and keep competing. So I have nothing but respect for the young man. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he's going to make a great pro, let alone, I mean, he's a great young man, but I think he's going to have a great football career at the next level. Really smart guy, great athlete, really good teammate. And again, really happy for him. But that leads us to, a matter of fact, leads us to this. He actually posted a very, very heartfelt video to announce his decision to declare for the draft. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I haven't watched it fully. I only saw parts of it, but let's watch it together. And for our radio listeners, you guys can hear it. But if you do want to watch it, come hang out with us at the Miller's Edge on YouTube. And this was what Tai Simpson posted when he announced his declaration for the 2026 NFL draft.
Growing up in a small town like Martin didn't stop me from having big dreams. But man, that first visit from Coach Saban was surreal. The legend was in our house, eating my mom's cooking, painting a picture of what it would be like to play for the Crimson Tide. Coach told me straight up it wasn't going to be easy. But he told me if I trusted the process, it would be a ride worth taking. I chose Alabama then, and I'd do it 1,000 times over. There's no brotherhood like Alabama football and B-Side Phi. There's no brand like the Tide. And there's no journey like the one I'm on now. 4 years of grinding, growing up, and a whole lot of prayer to the man above. And learning, as Coach Saban said, to become process-oriented. There was temptation along the way, temptation to find an easier path. But when you choose Alabama football, there's a responsibility and a pride that comes with it. It's something you feel deep down. It's not a choice to stay at Alabama. You just are Alabama or you're not. I'm so grateful for this place, for the people I've met along the way who will be a part of my life forever. For my degree, for the hardships, the bumps and bruises, and the opportunity to play with my guys, to win tough games, to chase championships, and to be here for the moments that mattered. It wasn't all perfect, and it didn't have to be, but every moment had meaning, and I gave Alabama my all, and I got so much more in return. Coach Saban was right. It was all worth it. I'm proud to be a part of this legacy, to have chosen to be where my feet are, to have learned that you can't be anybody but yourself, and to strive to be the best version of yourself every single day. I'll cherish all of it as I take the next step for preparing for the NFL draft. It will always and forever be about Bama. Roll Tide.
So there you go, man. Really nice video, very heartfelt, and definitely shows his love and appreciation for Alabama, which man, it's I almost needed a tissue, Chase. Man, that was really, really well done, man. No, I'm just playing. But nah, seriously, man. Shout out to Ty. Really, really awesome dude, man. Great football player. And we're wishing him nothing but the best. I wish it was the same, very heartfelt send off for my guy Milroe, because they remind me a lot of each other. Great competitors, had a lot of passion for this place. That still bothers me to this day that man got done like that. But again, it is what it is. All right, Chase, I want to get your thoughts, man. The whole quarterback situation. You got Keelan Russell, you've got Austin Mack. They are the two returners, other than the freshmen that are coming in, that all eyes are on those guys, right? Who's going to be the next quarterback one for the University of Alabama? We had Jalen Milroe, we had Tai Simpson. Now we're searching, man. Who's going to be that guy? Chase, from your perspective, where it stands right now, after seeing a little bit of Austin Mack as recent as in the Rose Bowl for a few series, and seeing Keelan Russell when you got to in a couple games, how do you see this thing playing out, man? Which one do you think is the next quarterback here in Tuscaloosa?
Honestly, I go with Keelan Russell. I think Keelan being under the system, seeing how things work. I understand Austin has more experience. He understands Kalen DeBoer's, how he runs the offense and what he expects to be a quarterback at Alabama. But I believe you want to go with something fresh. I think what Keelan has done in high school and what I've been hearing behind the scenes, he is legit. He's not just this 17, 18-year-old just hitting the scene and trying to make a name for himself. He's one of them dudes. If you look at his highlights and his stats, he backs it up. And I think with what he has accomplished in high school, I think it could definitely translate over into college. And if I'm Austin, I don't leave, because you have a better chance of competing with Keelan than you did with Ty, because Ty was already, I believe, was already set once Jalen Milroe had left and declared for the draft. So I think Austin's in the good position as well. I think if you're an Alabama fan, I think you're smiling ear to ear. You have two great quarterbacks. You saw Mack when he got in the game against Indiana. He didn't flinch. He was moving the ball. I didn't see there was. I think once the game continued, Indiana, they adjusted and they were like, okay, different quarterback, different schemes, and then you kind of saw why Ty was number one. But I think there's a lot of upside to Austin. But if I'm the OC, if I'm head coach, I'm putting Keelan right now. And obviously, if he starts to struggle a little bit, then okay, Austin, reliable, cool, you got it, whatever. But it's just Keelan has more upside, in my opinion. He's the future, like you said, of Alabama. And you got to be kidding me if you don't think other teams are looking at Keelan right now if they're not going to play him, because he wants to play, I would imagine.
Fair. Listen, those are all fair points. Let's go back. You mentioned Austin Mack and when he got his opportunity, the most recent one, because I would say this. So they played Eastern Illinois, and we got to see all three. I would argue Austin Mack looked the best in that football game. And then we got to see Austin Mack, like you just mentioned, in the Rose Bowl after Ty unfortunately went down with that fractured rib. Austin Mack came in. The first series, really impressive. I think was it his first throw. I think he hit a guy like on a wheel route or whatever the route was, but it was kind of down the sideline. And I think it was Bernard Wright hit him in stride. I mean, I was like, damn. He had the interview saying, I got to be ready to roll. And he spoke it into existence. I mean, no one probably would have thought he actually would have played in the Rose Bowl. And sure enough, he did. Looked damn good that first series. Like you said, after that, started seeing, he's set back into reality maybe. But to be fair, he's going against Indiana's defense, who was one of the top defenses in college football. Not a lot of people had a whole bunch of success against that group. So I'll say this. I was impressed with what he did in the Rose Bowl. As a matter of fact, I think his stats were very similar. I'll pull it up real quick to what Ty did. I think they both had like 16 attempts, and it was around like 11 or so completions or whatnot. Regardless, I mean, he definitely, you're talking about having somebody that's ready. He's going on year 4. Next year would be his 4th year in college football. I think he's an early guy too. I think he early enrolled at Washington when he would have normally been a senior. So technically he has 2 years of eligibility remaining, if I'm not mistaken. But he's mature. He's got a little bit more experience now. I'll say this is without a doubt. We'll say, all right, first was if they both come back, without a doubt, it's an open competition. I don't think this staff really is leaning one way or the other right now. I could be wrong, but personally, I don't know how they would even do that, because I think it really ultimately depends on how these guys keep advancing and developing over the course of the next, how many months are we, like, what, 8 months away from the start of the regular season. And it all starts with, spring ball. And also another big piece of it too, we talk about winning the locker room, developing as a leader. That stuff's important as well. But in terms of, their play on the field, I think you go through spring ball. I think you go through summer, which you don't have practice, but you've got 7-on-7, which is, that's huge for quarterbacks and the connections with the receivers going into training camp. I think it'd be another situation where you don't have a true answer until fall camp. I mean, I wouldn't expect an answer anytime in spring ball. Personally, I think it would be one of those types of battles that really gets drug out a little bit, and rightfully so. Looking at the two of them in terms of their ability, I mean, Keelan Russell, looking at him and seeing him over the last, I don't know, however long I've gotten to see him, whether it's back in last spring or whenever it was I first got to see him. I mean, he's been developing very nicely. I mean, he's so impressive. Watched him, like the way the football comes off his hand. I mean, he's got a lot of zip to it. Throws a nice, accurate ball. I mean, I know a lot of people compare him to like Jaden Daniels type. I mean, I know they got similar body types. Both these guys are very athletic. Austin Mack being 6'6", 240 pounds. I mean, he's much more athletic than people give him credit for. I'll be honest with you. I think if you're Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, any member of this staff, I know people mentioned we need another quarterback coach. That is a good point. Nick Sheridan also served as quarterback coach. We'll be interested in see how that takes shape. But I would say you really can't go wrong with either one of them. I think they're both equally impressive. Some of them are, each guy kind of has something that he does maybe a little bit better than the other, but they're both really good football players. And I totally understand, like, if Mac just seems like he's a little bit further along in terms of maturity and his ability to kind of handle things, operate the offense, you probably lean that direction. But then if you want to lean into Keelan's direction, just because you're, like you said, leaning into that ceiling, that potential that he has, knowing might take the first couple games or so to kind of get his feet wet. But after that, I mean, you're expecting even more potential than the other. That's another way to look at it. But to folks in the comment section, to y'all's point, yes, everything starts with the offensive line, which we've already talked about that. We're going to continue to talk about that. But right now, we're talking about the quarterback position, because it also works. You can have a great offensive line, but if your quarterback's trash, that also is a pretty bad situation as well. So, hey, listen, two things can be true. We know offensive line is the most important thing, and you're right, Louis. Without an O-line, neither of them will be able to reach their full potential. We trust me, we understand that better than anybody, I think. But I will say, in terms of the quarterback position, hopefully you retain both of them, because if you're Mac, this is how I'm looking at it. I understand he's a little bit older, but he still has 2 years. So say he comes back and he competes. Say it doesn't work out and Keelan ends up winning the job. I would imagine with Keelan still being young, they'll probably still give Mac some opportunities, and I'm sure he wants to be the guy. But worst case, if he gets beat out, he has one full season remaining. He can hit the portal as a graduate, go play, be the guy. And you only need like one solid year to really, I mean, Tai, he has 1 year starting, and hell, I mean, he would have been a first-round lock if he would have finished the season a little bit better. I still think he probably is a first-rounder, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, 1 year experience, that used to be a bigger deal in the NFL. I feel like they're starting to, relax a little bit on the whole, like, hey, man, we want a guy with experience. So you look at it from that perspective, and if you're Keelan Russell, man, I mean, worst case, if you get beat out this year, you already stuck around here. I mean, going into the following year in year 3, I mean, I don't see how it's not the job of Keelan Russell. I know there's other guys that'll be coming in and competing, but come on now. Keelan Russell in year 3, I mean, there's no denying that. So I think both these guys, I understand both sides of it, but I feel like regardless, they'll be in a good situation. They just got to trust the process, and I think it all will work out. But let's do this. Let's hit a timeout, stay on schedule. When we come back, we got some phone calls to get to. I know we got Carson on here, got some app message. We'll do all that. We'll keep discussing. We'll pull up some tape of these transfers. That way we can get a closer look at them and see, at least I can show you guys how they fit in. So I got to talk about the linebacker too. I watched a lot of tape on him. I got my thoughts on that. I'll do that and more when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Again, Gray Robertson joins us at 1230. All that coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, let's pull this tape up real quick while we're on this break. Let's see where we're at with the likes. We got like 115 here. We're at 51. All right, we hit 50. Let's get it up to 75. Let's run it up. We can do that easy. We got 110 in here. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button just real quick. We're trying to get to 75. That's the new goal, man. And we got the tape. I know you guys love the tape. So if you guys like tape, man, hit that like button. Here we go. We're focusing in on Devin Tomkins. Again, he just committed. We watched him a little bit yesterday, but let's see if we can get a better thing. Because I'm not going to lie, there were some things I was impressed with, and others I definitely think he could work on a little bit, being a little bit more violent, especially on early downs, footwork. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things I wanted to see a little bit more out of him, but we got to get him in the game first. Did he play this game? Because that's 9. That's not 8. That's number 9. Hold on. Let's see. Let's make sure. Did he play in this game? Let me pull up the numbers real quick. Make sure he played in this game. TCU, because this is their bowl game. Maybe he didn't play. He might have been in the portal. I don't think he played in this game. All right, he didn't play in this game. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up a game that he was in. All right, he played in everything else pretty much. USC defense versus Iowa. Hell, they run the football. Let's see. We can get some. Louis, thank you very much, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Seriously, thank you all you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. Whoops. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what we got. Let's break some tape down. We're looking for number 8. There we go. All right, we got him in a 3 technique /4 eye. It's him, by the way. Dude, got the white glove. Oh, they all have white gloves. I was dumb. This is I hope he ain't tired in the first series, man. All right. Do you think we'll get Cam Coleman? Nah, I don't. I don't. Too much. Cost is too high. Could be wrong, though. Watch the Michigan State game. I'll pull that one up next. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tai 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, talking about transfer portal additions. Tai Simpson declaring for the draft. What's next for the quarterback position here? And now we got some tape pulled up. We're watching Alabama's most recent defensive lineman commit via the transfer portal, Devin Tomkins out of USC. So we're trying to show you guys a better glimpse of what you can expect out of this guy on like a down-to-down basis, not just highlights and stuff. We're trying to get to know him a little bit better. So we're doing that here on the streams. Come check us out if you want to at the Miller's Edge on YouTube and Facebook on Tai 100.9's page. But let's go to the phone lines while we do that. 205-342-9904 is the number. We got Carson up first. Carson, welcome in. Carson, you there?
Oh, I'm there now. I just got the beep.
There you go. What's up, Carson?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Can't complain, brother.
Heard that. Man, this stuff is crazy, huh?
Yeah. It's a whole new world, brother.
It's insane. Well, first, I just want to come on here and say congrats to Ty. He bet on himself, and he's been admirable the whole time. And his mentality and above the, neck up will take him a long way. Just like I thought with Jalen Milroe. You got the good head on your shoulders, and you got the skill set, of course, the baseline skill set. It's gonna carry him a long way in the league. So his future's bright. But just talking about, the quarterback situation right now, there's some interesting stuff I've seen and had some conversations with people about it. But, what's the chances of some behind the scenes deals going on for a guy like Austin Mack to stay at Alabama? Because, if it's me, I'm probably starting Keelan Russell. Now, it's going to depend on the offseason, of course, but given the raw talent that he has, and both of them, let's not forget, like Austin Mack reclassified as a young guy for his class. If he would have stayed in his class, he would have been a top 5 quarterback in that class. He reclassed and ended up dropping down to, a top 15 guy. But still, tremendous talent, can spin it, shows an understanding of the offense. But I just don't know how you're going to keep Keelan Russell off the field with a full offseason of preparation. Right. Give him the ability, and he's kind of what Josh Pate said, who we're hitching our wagon to, And so I think in this era, the earlier you can get a guy with that type of talent, enough film, enough experience, I think you got to roll with it. And, but then again, it's interesting, right? Because you want to keep Mack on the roster. You don't want him to go anywhere because, and that's what I meant by maybe some behind the scenes deals going on with NIL, maybe bumping Mack's NIL up. I mean, it's turning more and more into the NFL in the sense that, I don't know if you remember, but like the Seahawks, when Matt Flynn signed to the Seahawks for like $15 million a year to be a backup back in the day. And it was like the best deal ever because he didn't have to play, didn't have to perform, but he was getting paid a boatload of money. And I just see something like that could possibly happen because you don't want to lose Mack because you need guys in the room. I mean, after Mack and Keelan, it's all freshmen. You're bringing Kava, or Caden Kava, Jet Tamala, Trent Seaborn coming in the next year. And so it's all young guys. And so you don't want to have to rely, if Keelan does go down, on these young guys to come in. Then your season's scrapped, Right. And that's what happens in the NFL. Starting quarterback goes down. Not to say that teams don't manage, but if you're a playoff contender and Josh Allen goes down, right, your season's scrapped. Right. And so it's just the league is tying more into that. And so I really wouldn't be surprised if they give Austin Mack a really good NIL deal to keep him in the building. So
you
I don't know if you thought about that.
Yeah, well, it's a great point. You don't have a choice. I mean, because if he's fielding offers from other schools, and listen, the average right now, Texas Tech just paid a guy $5 million, which is more than a lot of these rookies' entire deals, right, in the league. Entire deal, not just 1 year, but like an entire deal, like 4-year deal, which is insane. A guy like Austin Mack, I mean, I think the floor right now for a quarterback that you potentially see as being like a starter. I mean, you're talking about 7 figures. I mean, like literally for guys that you probably would be like, wait, that guy? Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the market right now. So it is an interesting decision you have to make because I agree 100%. Even if you do really like Keelan and you feel like he's the guy, you never want to go away from having that experience from a guy like Austin Mack just on the roster in the quarterback room if you need it. Yeah, I mean, but this is what I could see happening. This wouldn't shock me if it did happen. Say he did decide to leave. I wouldn't be shocked if they went and got themselves another portal quarterback, but a guy that's more along the lines of like a backup type guy, a guy that might be smaller school guy or older guy that they sell him on, hey, man, like, they're not going to tell him, hey, we plan on you being a backup, or say, hey, we got an open quarterback battle. I mean, obviously we got Keelan Keelan Russell, but you can come in here, compete. You know what I mean? We'll pay you a little decent money. Probably not what we're talking about these other. I could see something like that maybe happening, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But that's why. Listen, that's why these GMs and these people in these offices, they get paid money now. You got to have it at the college level because these are the tough decisions that you have to make. There's no avoiding it. You have to figure out these issues that are coming up. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, if I was Austin Mack, I mean, if you really just wanted to play and have that guarantee, I'm sure somebody would literally pay you a lot of money and give you a guarantee to go play. But you've also kind of been with this staff and waited your turn, and there's a chance it's not, you know what I mean? He really could win the job. I mean, he's a good player.
100%.
And they like him too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they like him a lot. I think I would almost argue they probably like him just as much as Keelan. They just know with Keelan, he's just younger, and he's probably, like you just said, their future, who they're trying to hitch that wagon to. So it's tough. I know it's tough for the staff.
Yeah, look, I'd say it's a good problem to have because there's a lot of teams that don't have a quarterback going into next year. So, it's not the worst of things, but, and also with the transfers that are leaving out, there's probably a little bit more money. Now, I know guys are coming in as well, but, there's some money. Maybe you throw a little bit extra. You lost some recruits. You're probably going to refunnel that money somewhere else. But there's something small I want to bring up to you. I was watching an interview with Kyle Whittingham at Michigan, and with Busting with the Boys, and he brought up something interesting. And Utah last year finished in top 5 in basically all of the offensive stats. I think they were number 2 in rushing, top 4 in passing offense, and there's another stat that they were really, really high on in the country. And they used the most personnel out of any team in the country. The most versatility in personnel. They used a ton of guys, a ton of formations. They did weird stuff, right? And Kyle Whittingham brought up something about having kind of an easy button offense. And there's no longer going to be this complex, the complexity of certain offenses and certain defenses, because you don't have guys for 3 years now. You don't have a guy who can develop into a system and figure out the system anymore. And so you're having to dumb down stuff, and not necessarily dumb down, but simplify things. You're going to take checks from the coaches a lot more. You're going to do all of these things, and guys, it's easy mode, because you're getting guys in, year out. You don't have time you got to win college football games. It doesn't matter how much you prepare them for the NFL if you can't win college football games, because these guys have jobs to do. And I just thought it was an interesting point, something kind of separate, but it is related to the transfer portal. And we got to do things to make this simple because we don't have time anymore. So it's an interesting point.
No, it's a great point. It's true. I mean, that's part of the new challenges of coaching in this era. When you bring so many guys in, I mean, whether it's offense or defense, I mean, you got to find ways to get them up to speed as quick as possible, because you're right. You're not relying on all the guys that have been brought up in your system like you once were. That's a really, really good point. Carson, we appreciate you, man. We're going to hit this top of the hour break, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Always, brother. Be easy. Good deal. So our buddy Carson on the phone line, 205-342-9904. We'll go back to when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. All right, so this is again, this is why we watch full tape, right? We get the whole picture. We can't just go off of highlights. So here he is right here. I think he's in a 3 technique. If I remember, I think it's a 3 technique. But they're blocking down right here. I mean, you got to fight to get inside, right? He's trying to work in that gap, in that B gap there. But I mean, we're playing high. We're getting washed 5 yards down the field. That even more. Now we're about at 7. You know what I mean? We gotta work on that now. And we got good positioning. That's the thing. I mean, because he's tight as hell right here. I mean, we're damn near head up. Starts with your footwork, though. You know what I mean? I think this guy really could benefit on that. His footwork is we need a little work with that. You know, we kind of step underneath ourselves. We got to take a better step. We got to fight in that gap, man. We end up getting washed way out of the picture here. So that's kind of what I was trying to say. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like I'm like nitpicking these guys. You guys ask my opinions on these people. I'm giving you my honest take. Like if I'm a coach, or a scout, and I'm breaking down tape. That's what I was saying. He's a big guy. He's got good length, got good hand usage when he's working his pass rush, but he's not like super athletic. Footwork struggles sometimes. Not the most powerful. But again, I mean, certain guys are better in certain situations for certain systems, right? So you see what I mean? Like here we go again. I mean, we're getting knocked off the ball like 3-4 yards. So this is stuff I'm talking about. Like if we're going to be losing a guy like James Smith, who we also watched his tape, and I'm sure if coaches, again, we gave a very honest review of that. His tape was bad against Oklahoma. Didn't look good either. And he had some similar type deals. So, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's perfect, but my thing is if we're going to be relying, this is what I was talking about with Clint yesterday, if we're going to be relying heavily on these portal guys, we got to get guys that you really feel like our upgrades are going to be coming in and actually can make an impact. From what I've seen out of this guy, I'm just being like we're getting blown off the ball. If we're being completely honest, I don't see this being an upgrade from the guys we already had. And maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's not, and maybe they look at it more like, hey, he can come in here and compete. But he almost gives me vibes like Kelby Collins. You know what I mean? Like Kelby Collins kind of reminded me of this kind of deal. You know what I mean? And Kelby ended up being like a 3, you know? And if you're asking this guy to replace a guy like James Smith / LT Overton, 2 games we've been watching so far, I mean, I think we're going to need a little bit more help than that. Not knocking him, just being completely transparent. I mean, like I like him trying to work. He's working his hands, trying to get to a rip. Like I think third down situations, that versatility is going to be nice to work with for sure. And maybe with Roach and Jamie, maybe they can work with them. And there's times, I mean, that's a little bit better, right? Still want to get down a little bit, still playing a little high, but we got to play with better leverage and really utilize that length. And I think that's part of the problem. I think, he's 6'5", he's tall. I mean, we got to play lower. I mean, that's why you end up getting washed like that when you play so high. I mean, I had that problem. I'm 6'4". I mean, I used to be playing too high, and then you don't have a base when you don't play low. You don't have leverage, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. Can't go off the stats, brother. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, we're rolling. We're talking about everything going on: transfer portal additions, exits, guys declaring. I don't think there's any other news. Other guys put out posts, but they were, like Tim Keenan, I think Lawson and Jam Miller, guys like that they exhausted their eligibility. But other than that, I think Tai right now is the latest to declare. Caden Proctor declared yesterday. We talked a little bit about that. I think that was expected. Nothing really new. Parker Brailsford declared. Still waiting on guys like Bray Hubbard. I saw that in the chat. I don't have an answer for that. I think he's still deciding, weighing his options. Keon Sabb, another guy, still weighing his options. And I want to say there's a couple others. Isaiah Horton is draft eligible. I expect, honestly, I think Isaiah Horton, Keon Sabb, I expect those guys to return. Bray, I think, is on the fence. I think he could benefit coming back too, but wouldn't be shocked if he ultimately decides to go pro. Might be missing 1 or 2 guys, but we'll keep you updated on that. We're actively watching this tape of Devin Tomkins right now, so if you guys want to do that, come hang out with us on the stream at the Miller's Edge. You guys can watch it again. We watched all 22. We're just going play by play, series by series. These aren't highlights, so we're getting the full picture of what these players are good at, what they might struggle at, how they can fit in, all that good stuff. So that's what we're doing. But we're also taking calls 205-342-9904. Before I do that, Chase, let me mention this. I didn't talk about this one guy while I'm thinking about it. I put out this tweet, by the way, about Caleb Woodson, right? He's the Virginia Tech linebacker transfer. He committed to Alabama yesterday. And here's my thoughts, and I put this tweet out, but I can actually go into further detail right now, and I'll pull up some of his tape as well. But I think it's definitely an area of need. We talked about the linebacker position. We got to have it, right? We lost all 3 starting linebackers, basically, starting over right there. QB Reese and some of these younger guys, they're good players. They're young guys, though. And, your linebacker, especially your Mike linebacker, he's the quarterback of the defense. You got to have somebody. Do I think Caleb Woodson is that answer for that? I don't, because he's not that type of player. I'll explain why. However, I think he's a good addition. I think he fits what Kane Womack is looking to do with this defense. And he's an overall extremely talented athlete that, to me, he's just still a little raw. And this is why he's a former defensive back. I think he came in as a safety. Which is a good thing, but also, I wouldn't call it a bad thing, but it's a good thing in the sense of it provides extreme versatility. He's comfortable in space, right? So if you need him to go play out in that apex, if he's playing like a will or outside backer and he's playing in space, you need him, coverage-wise, he excels. He's comfortable there. You watch his change of direction. I mean, this guy is very athletic, has great acceleration, plays with great effort, right? So all those things are great. And he's a bigger guy, 6'3", you think 230 he's listed at. But one thing that I noticed with him being converted to a linebacker from a defensive back, he still is kind of learning to play in the box. You know what I mean? That's a whole different position. Just like me playing on the edge, yeah, I'm an outside linebacker, but that's totally different than being, a stack backer. It's no different than if you're used to playing secondary. Now you're playing in the box, reading the flow, being able to scrape, having that understanding. I think he's still, developing in that area. He's not bad at it. He's pretty solid. And he's aggressive, right? He's quick. When he diagnoses something, he triggers. And I like that. Those things I like. A couple things that I want to see him use his hands a little bit more. That'll come, the more reps he gets, working with them, I think that'll be big. He can just start learn to play with his hands. That way he can shed guys, get off blocks. I think that would definitely help elevate his game. But again, the reason I don't think he's the complete answer is, like I said, I think we really could benefit from like a true Mike backer in this defense. That's what we're going to be missing. To me, he gives me vibes of more of like, and somebody asked, does he remind me of Justin, why am I drawing a blank, man? 10, Justin Jefferson. Yes and no. Different builds, like different statures, but in terms of like, a guy that's around that 225, 230 range, really fast, sees things and he goes and gets it. Yes, he's very similar in that sense. So you can kind of get that vibe from him. They're not entirely the same type of player, but similar styles, so to speak, in terms of really good athleticism, see ball, get ball, they're after it. So I definitely think he's a huge addition in the linebacker room that much needed it. But I really would but I really would also like us target a guy for like that Mike backer spot. I think that would be huge for this defense. Now, they might have different plans. They might be relying on some of the young guys, right? Maybe like a QB Reese. We got to see a lot of him in Eastern Illinois. He played a lot of snaps. And I wouldn't be shocked if they're relying on maybe him or one of these other young guys to be that Mike backer. But this guy to me is more, that weak side backer, the versatility. I think you could even use him, and this is just me, but I wouldn't be shocked with his, DB background. Hell, if you wanted to go in like a big nickel, I mean, he could basically, because really the Sam is just replacing like a Husky, right? The only difference between a 4-3 and a 4-2-5 is that fifth DB is replacing that third linebacker. A guy like this with his background, it kind of, gives you a little bit more flexibility. And if you want to go almost like, big sub package / regular 4-3 personnel, since he's comfortable in space and has that background, he could do that. So I see him more in that mode. Blitzing, is no problem. This guy, again, he's fast as hell. I'll pull up some tape. Really good athleticism, good acceleration, great motor, great effort. I mean, he's running stuff down, but he's not going to be like your traditional thumper Mike linebacker. You know what I mean? Like, and I would love to see us target somebody like that. I don't know who in the portal fits that, but those are my thoughts on Caleb Woodson. Again, good pickup, really solid pickup. I like the pickup. I just think we still have some question marks that we need to get figured out in that linebacker room on top of this. But I definitely like the addition. So that gets I would give it a I'm not going to do the whole grade thing. Let me just stop there. I'll just say it gets a thumbs up for me. I like it. There is one guy, Chase, that I like and I want us to target, and that is former edge rusher out of Tennessee. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but Clint Lamb, who joined us yesterday, he's a friend of ours on the show, man. He did a little cut up of some clips of the young man, and man, I really like his tape, and I'll explain why. Jordan Ross, right? I'll pull this up on the screen. This is Clint's tweet, by the way, showing you some reps, but I mean, this guy is really impressive to me. I listen. I immediately, when I'm watching pass rushers, I'm watching get off first and foremost. Man, how do you come off the rock? This dude explodes off the football. He's got really good bend. He's an elite athlete, and he's 6'5", 245, so he's got really good length. To me, this is the type of edge guy we've been missing. I mean, Yonze Pierre stepping up has been big, but Yonze is the more speed to power guy. They've got similar statures, but Yonze, even though they look similar, Yonze plays a little bit different. This guy, I mean, take Yonze, but then give him like Quay's explosiveness in length. You know what I mean? Like the length of Yonze, but like Quay's explosiveness. That's what this guy is kind of given. And then just watching his ability to bend. Only thing I would say about Jordan Ross, want to see him, use his hands a little bit more. You see on that clip, he does get to it initially. He strikes a guy, goes to power, then he starts getting into his rush, starts working his hand. Other times he loves just to rip. He likes to dip and rip, as we say, which some guys work that a lot. But I think he could benefit. You start working with him, really teaching him some more technical things in terms of pass rush. I said, in my opinion, he's got double digit sack potential easily. Now, I know that's a strong thing to say, especially coming from me, but let me explain. I look at the tools and things you have to work with. Yes, we can work on some of the hand usage, but you can't really, you can train coming off the football, but a lot of that is like you got what you got. When you're 6'5" and you can explode off the football, to me, he kind of gives me, especially with the whole Tennessee uniform he's wearing, it kind of reminds me of James Pierce, except James Pierce was much more advanced as a pass rusher. We can work with that. And you coach this guy up, man, with those tools, man, with that length, with that get off, that ability to bend. A lot of guys have a lot of hip and ankle and, knee stiffness. That's why you heard Cignetti talking about that. He looks for that flexibility out of those, out of athletes, because how important it is. As an edge rusher, that's one of the most important things. For you to be able to bend the edge, you have to have good flexibility, knee, hip, and ankle flexibility. It's huge. And he has all that. So he's coming off the rock. He has that athletic ability, has the length. I mean, we can work with that. And that can easily translate to a double-digit sack type of guy, right, with the right coaching. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I'm just saying. I mean, you look at Yonze as he came along. I mean, he ended up with 8.5. You pair this guy up with Yonze, that's one hell of a tandem. And you lost Quay Rousseau to the portal. To me, this should be a priority. I told you about Devin Tomkins. I think he's a good piece. But like when I watch him, again, like we're looking at the main tools, right? We're talking about if you guys want like dogs on the defensive line, I'm just being completely honest with you. That's not the type of player Tomkins is, at least not right now, not from the tape I watched. It's a big guy, versatile guy, but he doesn't have some of these tools or the things that just pop when I watch him. This guy, again, totally different position, but you get what I'm trying to point this out, like the difference in tape, right? As you guys, that's why I'm showing you the tape. You guys can see what I see. We can work with that. And I don't know what he would be going for. I know edge rushers are expensive in the NFL, so I imagine he's going to be expensive in college. That said, hey, that might be the final. That might be the last thing it takes to get me to finally. Let me not say like that, because I'm going to tell myself, but people already know. I'm not currently subscribed to Alabama. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not. Y'all go sign him. Maybe I'll make a deal. Maybe I might sign up because I want some juice off the edge. We need it. Last time we had some dudes that really were active like this, that had that type of toolbox to work with, I would say, like Braswell, Dallas, those types of guys. And we need it. We're lacking it. And you got a guy right here. I heard he's got ties to Alabama. Maybe Birmingham area, something like that. So I don't know. Courtney Morgan and all y'all folks involved, man. Listen, we'll let all the guys leaving. We'll let it go. If you bring me some edge rushers like this, man, we're square. We'll call it even. But let's do this, Chase. And I'm kidding, by the way. Let's hit a timeout. We come back. We'll go to the phone lines. We got Gray Robertson at 12:30. We'll keep talking about these players. Keep watching tape. So don't go anywhere. We're just getting started right here on the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Weather brought to you by Fincher and
You guys kind of see the difference of what I'm talking about, though. Again, I get these guys are totally different positions, and I'm not trying to, you guys know me. I always preface by saying it's this is all respectful criticism, just like any coach or scout would do. But it's honest, and if I'm being honest, like, I like, and it's different for each position. So when I'm looking at an edge rusher, like I'm not going off of necessarily production or stat. Like somebody mentioned, like, oh well, Kelby Collins had less stats. I don't care about. That's like, yes, that's part of it. You want to see what they're able to do because there's some guys that have all these tools, but then their stats are terrible, and you're wondering why it's not translating. But this is a young guy. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. I want to say he still has plenty of eligibility. And I'm talking about 6'5". You check the length box. He's 245. You check the stature. I mean, he's filled out, which is good, right? He can hold his own. I would like to see more clips of him setting the edge, but I would assume with this type of explosiveness and his length, I don't think he should have an issue setting the edge, right? But like I said, just that ability to bend, man. I mean, it's hard to find guys that are that size that have been like that. But I love this. I mean, the way he just flies off the football, man. He just flies out the ball. And see, he's got good hand usage there. We just got to work that. Like, that's great hand usage, right? Once he starts he's working a two-hand swipe. We call that a scissors. He's working the scissors technique. And then he gets into the bend. I mean, look at the dip. Man, we can build off of that. Now, am I saying he's a polished product and that he's going to immediately come in and just be a double-digit guy? No. But I think he's got that potential to him, Just like stuff like this, you just got to recognize it early. And I get it. I mean, boom, he might be trying to play the run first, even though that's 100% a pass set. But sometimes you get it, you just diagnose something a little late. We just got to get to that sooner. But he's got the ability to do it. Just got to take some training. But I like it. Oh, he's from Vestavia? Yeah, we need, like I said, it's hard in my tweets. Sometimes I have to squeeze stuff in, so I don't get to say everything I want to say about guys, or sometimes I have to just summarize it a little too much and be a little vague. But that's why I like being able to talk about it on here and show you guys. But I want to watch a full game of his. But this was just what Clinton had put on his cut up. I mean, he can convert speed to power. I like that a lot. Chase said he reminds me of a young Von Miller a little bit when he's getting in the league. A little bit, man. But the good news is he got great length. And the Von's like 6'2", 6'3". I mean, this guy is 6'5", long arms. It's hard to find. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to find guys that have that length and that type of athleticism, Another player that's nothing to be excited about. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about this guy? The Tennessee guy, I would be excited about. The Southern Cal guy, I'm a little patient with that. Just being on, again, not hating, not being negative, just being honest. And if you guys listen, I'll let you guys watch tape and form y'all's own opinion. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Smitty up next. Smitty, welcome in.
How's it going, Christian?
Man, can't complain. What's going on, Smitty?
Man, it's 61 degrees out here today. I had to bring out the big coat, man. It's miserable.
Hold on, we got you beat. I'm like, wait, my computer's saying 64, brother. We got you beat for once. Let's go.
Hey, man, the Lord had to give y'all a bone, throw y'all a bone every now and then. But
yeah,
right. Part of me, my guilty pleasure is I kind of hope Alabama signs 3 receivers in the portal so you can punch a hole in the wall. That would be epic. But I don't want that to happen for real. But but one receiver would be fine. But they don't need to spend a lot of money on that. Keep fortifying the trenches. But I think like with HaHa's tweet yesterday, and I've seen people still want to blame coaches and stuff. And I say, yes, there's a culpability with coaches. And I hate when people keep talking about all these 4 and 5 stars. guys and gals, that mess does not matter once you get on campus and start taking snaps. Because I know you got on campus and there were plenty of 4 or 5 stars who did not live up to that billing because, once you start playing, it is what it is. And I just wish people stop just looking at star rankings when you start playing. It's all about what you do when you're on that field.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree 1,000%. That's why my dad was preaching on here yesterday. He said, "Look, at this point, man, throw all the star rankings out the window. I know a lot of fans keep up with them, but you just got to learn, man. They listen. It's not going to apply to everybody. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still a lot of 5 stars that end up being top picks. I think they always, go back and look during the NFL draft. I mean, a lot of them end up panning out, but not all of them. And it shouldn't be your main priority, especially in today's day and age. There's a lot of good football players out there. And sometimes it's a matter of guys just not having the right opportunity. They might not have been recruited, very highly coming out. And then, they play a year or two and they're a much better player than they were in high school. And so I think it's just about getting, like my dad mentioned, man, getting guys that fit what you want to build, that are hungry, that are going to do and play with all the, intangibles like physicality, right? Effort. I think at this point, that's the most important. We're going to naturally have a lot of talent and skill. We recruit really well still. Yeah. We got that. So now you just got to get some dogs, man. I agree 100%.
And let's look at some of the recent 5 stars that we had the past 2 years. Michael Carroll, Savion Brown, and Dijon Lee. Those guys play with intense effort. They physical. They play hard. I always say, if you're going to mess up, I'd rather you mess up playing hard.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's about getting, because I think Dijon Lee, a cornerback, laying the wood on people. Michael Carroll's an ass, and Savion Brown's a total dog out there. And I just think that a lot of times you get that right makeup of people. But when it comes to quarterback, I think Ty made the right decision to leave. And see, in my opinion is, people forget he's been in college 4 years already. I think he's 23 years old and he already graduated. It's kind of like Milroe last year. He already graduated, been in school. And sometimes these guys are probably tired of being there. They want to move on. And sometimes you may not be able to up your draft stock. Now, like someone like Yonze Pierre, he could up his draft stock. But we know a lot of times in the NFL, quarterbacks are chosen based on physical traits. And I'm not picking on Noah Sellers. They kept talking about his traits, but they weren't talking about his production. And maybe he can improve with that, but I doubt it with that offense he's gonna be in. But with Ty, I just don't think he can up his draft stock. I think with him, it's important where he goes. He should be hoping and praying that he go to the Rams or even the Vikings, who their quarterback doesn't look so good. Go somewhere with a good coaching staff, a good situation where you don't have to play right now. Because I think a lot of these quarterbacks, I don't care if you're number 1 overall, they shouldn't be playing day one. Because you take like Cam Ward this year, that team was god awful. What were you gaining by throwing him out there, getting his teeth kicked in, and now everybody's saying he ain't that good? They did the same thing with Bryce his first year. And it's all about where you go more than how high you go. And I hope that he goes to a good situation like the Rams or even the Steelers, somewhere stable.
Yeah, that's probably his best option. It's out of his control, but I think he would really benefit from a situation like that, given he didn't have a whole bunch of college experience. And these coaches and scouts, they're smart to know that. I mean, they're not going to necessarily throw him in that fire, hopefully. But if you look at it, I guess it depends. But I would probably say, Mendoza, Dante Moore. It depends on who all needs quarterbacks. I see Ty maybe a little bit later in the first round, which ends up being better for him because it's a better team. And so, I agree. I think it ended up being the right decision. I just don't think it would have hurt him to get more experience. But you're right. You do run the risk of, hey, next year's draft class, I got some dudes in there. If things don't work out great, then you're right. You could risk it. And if you already got a first round grade, man, I know he probably would love to return to Alabama and try to go out on a championship note. But, you got to strike while the iron's hot sometimes, man, especially if, listen, the second half wasn't great and you're still getting some positive first round feedback. I would just take that and run with it. So I agree, bro.
Yeah. And like the next year quarterback, I think it's kind of like, I look at it the NFL style. If you're close, you go to the younger guy. You got more leeway with him. And I think so like Austin Mack would be smart to stay and compete anyway, because wherever he goes, he's gonna have to compete anyway. And I think that's the thing that people don't say. Unless you're getting paid $5 million like Thorsby, I watched him play. I don't see how in the world he's getting $5 million, but he ain't competing because of that money he put in him. But I just think with Austin back another year, because all you need is 1 year of film. We got that with Tai Simpson, 1 year of film. Mac Jones had 1 year of film. Cam Newton had 1 year of film. It's all about getting your money in the league. You worry about the development part later, but get your guaranteed money. But honestly, because I'm glad they did not throw Keelan Russell in there, because it's like in the NFL, you let the veteran handle that, because you don't want to ruin this kid's confidence, because if you go with him, you can't take him out. It's like in the NFL, you go to the rookie, you can't take him out. And we still have all of spring and fall camp. And I believe that, hey, if you're going to go 9-3, I'm just throwing it out there, go with a young guy. But I think Keelan has a lot of talent. I feel like he's a good young man, good foundation. But I think he's got to go with people, just like Ohio State went with redshirt freshman Julian saying.
Yep.
And,
yeah, that's fair.
I think he's got to go with it.
No, that's fair, and that's a decision those coaches have to make. But you just gotta listen. I think you really can't go wrong either way, because they're both really good players. But you're right. I mean, if it's close and you're talking about a guy that you could have for the next 2, maybe even 3 years, probably not. But you get what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel you. Well, Smitty, we appreciate it, man. And if you haven't, man, check out the stream. We're watching the tape of most recent defensive tackle commit Devin Tomkins, and I want you guys. I've already said my piece. I'm gonna let you guys watch it and tell me what you guys think. But check it out. I'm curious to get your feedback, bro.
Hey, I will check it out, and all I got to say is that if you lose 38-3, ain't none of these positions safe. It's like the liquidation sale of the furniture store. Everything must go. Nobody's safe.
You better be replacing it with some Havertys or one of these nice furniture stores. Don't get this Facebook Marketplace furniture. Don't get this Facebook Marketplace furniture either, bro. We don't need that neither.
Hey,
Smitty, I appreciate you.
Safe. You have a good one.
You too, man. All right, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We got Gray Robertson joining us, talking transfer portal, semifinals, and more right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
The Tuscaloosa Thread News Update is brought to you by Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge.
Guys, you guys know, man, I leave my dad to be the guy that just says whatever, but I'm having to hold my tongue watching this tape, guys. This is even making me. Y'all are about to hear me talk like my dad in a second, man. Come on, man. Listen, this was my point to, like, when I was telling Clint, like, I know I get it. A lot of the guys that we've seen hit the portal, I feel I watch it. Trust me. I might not talk about it all the time, but I see it. I try to be respectful. However, guys, I mean, it's like the 4th snap we've seen. This guy is getting like moved 10 yards off the football. Again, I'm not trying to be rude, man, but this is the tape. Like, y'all are seeing what my eyes are seeing. Like, again, hopefully you guys can see my mouse. I'm trying to make sure you're seeing this is who we're looking at. Yeah, you see it on there. Like, now this, I get it. He's facing a double team, but if you're going to play 3 technique, you got to be able to handle double teams, right? Like, this ain't it, man. I mean, they're driving his ass out the state of Southern California, or out of California. They're driving his ass to Mexico. I mean, he's going to need a visa if he getting pushed off the ball like that. I mean, come on, man. Listen, guys, nah, man. We're trying to, like, bolster this defensive line. I'm not trying to pick on young man, but, like, I'm just saying, I mean, if we're going to be letting guys like James Smith and some of these guys go, and HaHa's going to be putting out tweets like, we need to, HaHa. You watching with the tape of what we're bringing in? Come on, gang. That ain't Bama. No. And again, I don't want you guys to watch this and hear me talk like this, and y'all start jumping on and then go on Twitter and, hey, Chris said he was trash. I didn't say all that. I'm just letting you guys watch the tape and form y'all's opinion. I'm trying to keep it a buck. I got you. I got you. I'm trying to keep it a buck. but you guys know I try to be as respectful as possible. But man, like, I'm just being honest. That's a little frustrating to me. Like that, I'm like, man, that's why I said if we're gonna let guys walk and we're gonna kind of be talking like, hey man, nah, let them go. Cool. Hey, I'm rocking with you. I trust you. I'm rocking with you. But fam, come on now. When these aren't highlights. We're watching real tape. Y'all gonna have to explain this to me though. If this is what we're replacing James Smith and these guys with, fam, I'm worried. They're not gonna let me in the building no more. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, man. Like I take this shit serious because I'm like, bro, we're really at like a serious point right now with this program. And you know what I mean? Like that shit AJ and them that we're talking about on that podcast is real, man. Like it's former players, man. Like it's not something to play with. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it like we need all this money on these skill guys and shit, man. Like that like, bro, come on, man. Let's watch it from the tight. I get it. It's a double team. They're not easy. But I mean, big fella got it. I mean, he came off of it, but still, come on, gang. Y'all got me like leaving my radio personality for a second. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. And we're now joined back to the phone lines, but this time we're joined by my partner in crime, Gray Robertson of the Crimson Tide Sports Network / SEC Network. Gray, it's been a circus. It's been chaos, but that's why we're here to talk about it. Gray, how are you, man? How's everything going?
I'm good. You know, the weather is a little muggy outside. It's kind of damp and gross, and it kind of resembles how I feel every time I look at Twitter right now in college football, because every second I see something that makes me roll my eyes or kind of long for the good old days. But we do get football on the field tomorrow and on Friday, which is very exciting. Should be 2 more really good games. We do. You talk about rolling eyes, and I'm watching some tape right now. My eyes are about as far back as they could go. That said, listen, you met. Well, I'm just gonna be honest, because listen, I like to watch tape. I'm a film junkie. We're not just gonna go off of highlights. I got to see these guys, and this is an exciting time. I feel like I'm like Mel Kiper right now. I'm like trying to break down these prospects and guys coming in, but some I'm like, all right, okay, I see what we're working with. Others, man, I'm not necessarily seeing the vision, but I guess I just got to trust it. But Gray, let's talk about us while we're talking about the portal and whatnot, and what are your initial thoughts? I mean, there's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot of, I guess, names. And it was crazy. I say a lot, but I saw a tweet that actually compared. I think we were where we were at and compared to other SEC programs. We were like in the middle of the bunch in terms of people leaving. So I think that just goes to show that it's really not as bad as it might seem, because everybody's dealing with this. It's normal, and that's not counting the other SEC school. Ole Miss, Georgia, who just got out of theirs. They've got some names coming as well. But were there any names in the portal that caught you by surprise or that you weren't expecting? And do you have any thoughts on any of the guys coming in just yet? Is there anybody that has piqued your interest? Well, I really like Hollywood Smothers. I don't think I'm breaking any ground when I say that, because I like his explosiveness. I love a lot of the tape that has shown his pass blocking, which I know that we talked a lot about on the show was a bit of an issue for the running back group this year. Daniel Hill had a few games where he wasn't particularly sharp in that category, and that hurt Alabama. But I really like him as a player. I'm still kind of getting to know a lot of the guys that have committed. The Virginia Tech linebacker Woodson. I know the USC guy just committed as well. That was while I was in my meeting today, so I truly haven't broken him down yet. But I think, to your point about this kind of being the way it is, I think like the perfect example of that is the Parker Livingstone situation at Texas. I mean, his statement said everything to me about the current state of college football, because he's a guy who had a good year with Texas. He wasn't their top receiver, but he was a weapon. And in his little goodbye statement, he said, I never thought I would enter the portal, but this is just how it has to be, essentially implying that Texas asked him to leave. And that's now kind of how a lot of programs are having to operate. You are having to attack the portal. You're having to, depending on what guys ask for, make some space, and that's unfortunately a reality that we all have to deal with. It makes me long for the old days, like I said, or even the days of, it's seeming like the guys were all in for the love of the sport and the team, like in the FCS championship. I thought that seemed like a really pure example of what college football used to be a few nights ago, on top of being a great game. But it's something that we all have to adjust to now. And if you don't adjust to it, then you're going to be even farther behind.
Yeah, it's totally different. And it really, I mean, you have no choice. I would have loved to, maintain the whole identity of, man, we retain everybody and we're going to build up guys, develop guys from recruiting, but it's just not the reality. And it's like you said, I mean, sometimes guys aren't great fits, and then there's all types of other influences. You've got parents, agents, and representatives, and they're saying, hey, the market's this guy should be earning this. But then you look at it from the coach's side, and there's only so much going around, and they got to take care of this guy and know that maybe it's man, from what I've, listen, and I've talked to a bunch of people, man, it is a circus. I'll say this to answer your question on some of these guys. I've watched a lot of tape. I would say almost every guy that we've had commit, I think I can find something good about pretty much all of them. There's maybe one guy that I'm kind of scratching my head on, but linebacker from Virginia, the linebacker from Virginia Tech that you mentioned, man, a really good athlete. I'm excited to see how he can fit in this defense. I can imagine Kane Wommack has some plans to utilize somebody of his skill set. I mean, especially you talk about another athletic linebacker and Griffin coming in out of high school with his versatile skill set. This defense is going to be interesting to watch. I think it's going to consist of a lot of speed, a lot of athletes flying around, and I'm definitely curious how that looks. But Gray, I got to get your thoughts on something else big that's going on. Our guy Tai Simpson, man, QB1, he officially declares for the NFL draft. He dropped a really, sentimental video, man, starting from, clips and videos from when he was a child. Goes to show, man, maybe I am getting old. I don't even know if I can find those old VHS tapes of myself, and I'm not that much older than him. But really cool video dedicated to his time here at Alabama. Showed a lot of love to his teammates, the fans, and this program. But want your thoughts on Tai Simpson, Gray? A lot of people were offering different, I guess, perspectives. A lot of, sports figures were saying they actually felt he should return to school, get a little bit more experience. I can't say I disagree with that. I actually think he would have benefited from coming back. However, I understand you got to strike when the iron's hot. And even though he had a little bit of a slump the second half of the season, the reality is he's probably still going to have a first-round draft grade. So to me, I think, it kind of was a really a win-win situation. I don't think he really would have lost either way. What are your thoughts on Tai Simpson declaring, Gray?
First off, just from a human standpoint, happy for Tai. We talked about this on the show. You brought it up, and I was about to say the same thing, so we were on the same page. He loves Alabama, and I really love the way that he represented the school, not just when he was the starting quarterback, but, all the years before, staying, really investing in this place, hosting some of the events that he did in the zone and giving back to the community. Like, he was a great ambassador. He has been a great ambassador for the University of Alabama. And I think a lot of people should be appreciative of what he has done to really try and make Tuscaloosa and make the program a better place, not just on the football field, but off. On the football side, I like this move for him because I think that for his development, being a late first-round guy, going to an established place where he doesn't have to immediately become a starter and he can learn and maybe hear a different voice will really, really help him. Because a lot of his issues, they were exposed in kind of the middle of the year, kind of around the injury timeline, and they never necessarily got better. It's not like he didn't know what was going wrong, or Ryan Grubb didn't see it, or Nick Sheridan, or all these other offensive coaches. They probably all saw what was going on, and they were probably all working on it. It just wasn't necessarily coming through in games. I hope for Ty's sake that maybe a different voice, a different system, a different process in trying to resolve some of those mechanical issues can weed that out of his game a little better. And the best place for that to happen in my eyes would be at the NFL level under, hopefully, an established starting quarterback late in the first round, where he can get some of that, I guess, advice from a guy who's seen a lot of pro reps. So I think for Tai, it's a good move. I can't wait to see what he can do. And I hope that, he learns what he has to learn in the early days of the NFL after he gets drafted so that he's ready to make an impact at some point in his pro career.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I think mid to even a little bit later in the first round would be a great opportunity for him, hopefully, to sit behind somebody, learn. And we know how smart he is. And from a football perspective, I think he's just going to be a sponge, soaking up all that knowledge that he could learn from a vet in that quarterback room. And then when he does get his opportunity, I think he has a great chance of being a good player. Now, there's stuff he's definitely going to have to work on, his deep ball accuracy, some other things, settling down in the pocket. In the NFL, there's going to be some dudes coming at you. Myles Garrett just set that sack record. Those are the type of dudes coming off the edge. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think he's going to be a guy that embraces it and has a good chance at having success. Gray, I want to talk a little bit real quick while we got you about these matchups coming up tomorrow. First off, you've got what's first? Yeah, Miami, Ole Miss, man. They play tomorrow in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm excited about this one. It's very intriguing. You've got Trinidad, quarterback over for Ole Miss, led by Pete Golden. But, man, he's probably the hottest player in the playoffs right now, at least quarterback for sure, in terms of just some of those wow plays he had. I mean, literally, that game was incredible. Georgia Ole Miss, that was a classic. That's what the college football playoff should be. But they got one of the hottest quarterbacks right now. They're playing some really good football. Pete Golden's doing a hell of a job. I feel like those guys have a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, but they're going against a team led by Mario Cristobal, who's no slouch. He demands physicality, a defensive line that gets after the quarterback. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Can Miami's defensive line continue to harass quarterbacks, especially Chambliss, and can they get him to the ground? Because, the dude is elusive and can still keep his eyes downfield. How do you see that matchup going, Gray? Who do you have in that one, Ole Miss versus Miami?
Well, there are a lot of things that you just talked about that really make this fascinating for me, because the Miami defensive line, we talked about that going into the Ohio State matchup. We said, the defensive line is the great equalizer. I said that I was pretty sure Miami was going to come within the 10-point line. I thought that was insane. I did not feel confident enough to pick the upset, but they showed in that matchup what having guys who can get after you without blitzing can do to an offense. And the Miami defensive front is significantly better than Georgia's. Significantly better. Georgia's D-line has not been the strength of that team this year. And so this is going to be a much different challenge for the Ole Miss O-line, for the Ole Miss running game. Kewan Lacey is going to have to be a superstar. But that great equalizer of Trinidad Chambliss being able to run around and create space is going to be, I think, the thing that helps propel Ole Miss here. Also, quietly, Trinidad Chambliss has done a great job protecting the football. He's just got 3 interceptions this season. His decision-making is one of the things that really elevates him, along with his ability to make throws on the run and do a lot of things when escaping the pocket. So I kind of think Ole Miss is going to win this game and go to the national championship, which is crazy because Ole Miss has never been in the SEC championship, and yet they could be playing for a national championship before that happens. But yeah, I don't know. Ole Miss is very much giving off team of destiny vibes. And the way that they were able to beat Georgia was just so impressive, because it felt going into the fourth quarter like we were watching the regular season game all over again. Georgia had really started to constrict and started to take control of that game. And Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss pulled off some of the best plays we've seen all season in sequence. Probably 3 of the best throws this year came from Trinidad Chambliss on 3 straight plays. And it feels like Ole Miss is riding this magic carpet, to borrow a Coach Murphy term, and also a Disney term, that could lead them all the way to Miami to the national championship game. And last but not least, I still have questions about Carson Beck in big moments. I know he played very well against Ohio State, but the thing that elevated Miami in that game was running the football with Fletcher and being able to possess on the ground and control the clock. If they're not able to run the football that well, if more pressure is put on Carson Beck, then I do wonder how he will respond, because I don't know if he necessarily passed the test with flying colors. He played okay against Ohio State. He had some big throws, but I'm still not confident that he can truly do it all with a target on his back if the running game has any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. If Carson Beck, I mean, who has experience in these big moments, he's a national championship winning quarterback. If he can step up in that Miami defensive line, we know they're going to harass Chambers, but can they get him down? Can they do enough? Because I mean, that dude, man, he had some determination. He wasn't going down, and he was finding receivers downfield, and man, that was magic. Hopefully, he can continue that. Because I'm like you, like I'm kind of rooting for Ole Miss because it's like, listen, I love Lane, but I can only imagine. Listen, you know the ego he has. Oh my God, he would be hurt if Ole Miss, even if they just go to the national championship game, and he's sitting there. And to be fair, I mean, a lot of his coaches. Shout out to him for letting those coaches keep coaching. But man, I know that hurt his ego. But most importantly, I'm rooting for Pete Golden. Man, I've been a Pete fan since he was my coach here, and love that dude. He's a great football coach, and they're doing something special. Last but not least, Gray, before we let you run. You got the other matchup. You got Oregon, Indiana. You got a rematch. Two really good teams, man. Give me your thoughts on that. You think Indiana is as good as advertised, at least against us? Or you think Dan Lanning, we know it's tough to beat a good team twice, can find their revenge in this matchup and earn a trip to the college football national championship?
Well, it's really hard for me to pick against Indiana after watching what they did in the Rose Bowl. I mean, and especially considering the way that they owned Oregon in Eugene earlier this year. I mean, that was a 30-20 game. Keep in mind that Oregon had a pick six. Like they scored 13 offensive points. They couldn't move the football, and they did not look good on offense against Texas Tech. It was not pretty, and Texas Tech's defense and defensive line is good. I would say that Indiana's defense, while maybe not as talented as Texas Tech, is certainly more fundamentally sound and pretty efficient. We've talked about it a lot on shows previewing the Rose Bowl and post game as well. They're in the right spots constantly. I don't know if Oregon is going to be able to execute at the level that they need to. They've also got some injuries. They had one of their running backs go in the portal yesterday. I haven't heard if he's going to play or not. They had another guy break a collarbone. I mean, it's going to be hard for Oregon to do what they need to do to beat this Indiana team that it seems to be clicking on all cylinders. I will say the rematch thing, it's hard. It is hard to beat a team twice. This year there have been, I think, 7 or 8 rematches, and for the most part, the other team won, except for Texas Tech BYU in the Big 12 championship, and then Ole Miss Tulane, which were both similar scores. But I can't not buy into what Curt Cignetti is selling right now based on what I've seen on the field and based on the way they're talking about this game and they're talking about what the program's been up to.
Yeah, I think that one is going to be a dang good football game. I'm with you, though. After seeing them dismantle us, it's hard to bet against those guys. In that, listen, they played Oregon before. I think it was a 10-point win for them. I think it was a late touchdown to make it 10. But I don't know, man. Those guys just seem to still be on their stride. Some teams kind of start hitting that point, and they kind of start coming down a little bit. I mean, shoot, after having a month off and playing us, I feel like they got even better. So that's the scary part about it. So we're going to see. I think they're going to be good matchups. Gray, I appreciate you hanging out with us, doing a little bit of small sample of what we do over on the Crimson Tide Sports Network for our post-game show, which unfortunately, with the conclusion of the season, we wrapped up our season over there, but hopefully we'll be running it back in 2026. Before I let you go, man, tell everybody what's up next for you. Any calls, any games you got this week?
Yeah, we got a women's basketball on SC Network Plus tomorrow. We got number 6 Kentucky coming into Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide. Big chance for Christy Curry's squad to get a key win and kind of show where they belong in the SEC race. So it'll be myself, Richard Hendricks, and Mary Reagan Bolig on the call on SC Network Plus, and then after that we'll see where the wind blows me. But I'll be ready to talk about whatever sport I'm assigned to next.
Sounds good, man. You do a hell of a job, man. I always enjoy listening to you and definitely enjoy having you here on the Miller's Edge. Gray, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out, brother.
Thanks, partner. See you soon.
Sir. See you, brother. All right, good deal. That was my buddy Gray Robertson over with the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We're going to hit one last time out here. Then we'll come back for a quick little segment on radio, but we are staying on the stream. We've got to talk about this tape that we're watching and more, and a big announcement coming up right here on the Miller's Edge. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R.
All right, guys. So when I come back, I'm gonna close out on radio, but do not go anywhere on the stream because we're sitting our asses right here to talk about this tape real quick and a little bit more because I have to offer some thoughts. Again, to be clear, when I'm making face, I know we had Gray and other callers on the line. It is not about that. It is about I'm reacting to what I'm seeing right here. That's what I'm reacting to. I'll be honest with you, man. This is probably the first one that I am really questioning. I don't know if you saw, I couldn't comment it because we were talking, but I mean, it's like every snap we are getting blown, pushed off the rock. We're yards downfield. I mean, here is nothing. It's a quick game, so we'll keep going. But I mean, guys, I mean, listen, again, this isn't picking on anybody. This is, come on, man. This is, and I think Iowa's got a good offensive line. I mean, those corn-fed boys over in Iowa, man, they're strong. We get it, but come on, man. Like, if you're gonna be playing D tackle in the SEC, bro, I'm not trying to be funny, but he honestly is like, look at this hole that is opened up because of this displacement, guys. That's not what we need on this defensive line. Again, I promise I'm not knocking or picking on the kid. I'm just from a pure football analysis. If you guys want to get back to playing like with real physicality, playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, that ain't it, man. That's not gonna cut it here. Who is that? And that's the other thing. I want to pull up that guy. You guys were excited about some guy on some visit. Peak. Who is that? Who is Peak? What y'all are talking about? I mean, that tape better be better than this damn tape. Or I'm gonna be upset. If you guys are just joining us, man, welcome in. Again, I'm gonna close out on radio, but we're not going anywhere. We're sitting right here on the stream. If you haven't, hit that like button. We only got 101 likes. We got 140 people in here. Let's try to get that up to 120. It takes 2 seconds. Don't be a traitor. We call people like that traitors, man. They come lurk, but they don't want to hit the button. It takes 2 seconds. Everything is free, man. Just hit that like button. That just helps us out. You guys have been crushing it, man. We hit 300, 200 the past 2 days. We got to keep it up. Tackle from NC State. Is he offensive tackle, defensive tackle? Offensive tackle. Oh, he's a left tackle he's visiting here? Drop that bag. Come on now. All that talk we've been talking about, bringing all these, we got general managers and this person, that person, man. It's time for them to work. I want to see them earn that check. We need some dudes, man. Maybe this was more of like a body. Maybe this is more depth. All right, good deal, Chase. That sounds good, brother. Oh, damn, it's 57. Yeah, I'll come back and just close it right out. I'll close radio straight out, and then yeah, we got to talk about this. We're gonna stay on stream. Peep his tape. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here. We're watching tape. I'm not going nowhere. Just closing out on radio. Give me 1 second, Dean. And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. And big thanks to Gray Robertson of the Crimson Tide Sports Network / SEC Network joining us this Wednesday, like he pretty much does every Wednesday now, man. It's an extension of our post-game show that we do on the network. I would refer you guys to listen to it, but as the season concluded, that means our post-game show is concluded. But hopefully we'll be running it back next season because we have a lot of fun doing it. And I know a lot of you guys really enjoy listening to that on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. So hopefully that's in store for the 2026 season. In terms of us, that'll do it for us right here on the Miller's Edge radio side of things on this Wednesday edition. But we will be staying on stream to continue breaking down tape, discussing these transfer portal additions and potential targets. We're going to do all that right here on the stream. So come hang out at the Miller's Edge on YouTube / Tide 100.9 Facebook page, completely free. Just hit that like button. That's all we ask. That being said, look forward to doing it again on Tide 100.9 tomorrow right here on the Miller's Edge, 11 to 1, as we do every day. Enjoy each and every one of you. Big thanks to Chase behind the glass, all our listeners, and we will see you guys then right here, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, the home of Alabama sports. All right, here we go. Let's lock in stream. Here we go. Peak is worth 7 figures. I hope they drop it. He's a don't let him leave campus uncommitted type of guy. Hey, listen, y'all are saying a lot of stuff about this guy, so we're about to pull up his tape and we're going to judge it. I'm going to judge it. We're going to break it down. Have we seen enough of this tape? Y'all just let me know. Yes or no? Tell me in the chat. Have we seen enough of this? Have we formed our opinion? I wish we could see more rush snaps, but I mean, literally, like Iowa likes to run the football, clearly. I just don't think that's his forte. Here he is rushing right here. I'm convinced. Y'all are wild in the chat. I'm convinced this is a depth piece. I'm convinced. Here he is rushing in a wide 9, 290 pounds in a wide 9. Let's see this real quick. I just feel like I have to get a clip to be like, all right, okay, I see it now. It's bothering me. I haven't seen one clip that I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't see that, man. But then again, I mean, maybe it's not on this guy. I mean, we're also looking at a USC defensive front that literally has no nose. They literally are playing 4-eye, 5. We have a 9, a 4-eye, a 4-eye, and another wide 5. And then two really, I guess, we have 2 backers with shallow depth and a low-hanging safety or something. I'll be honest. I don't know what this shit is I'm looking at. I have no idea what kind of defense this is. But I don't know. Maybe it's their thing. This kind of reminds me of some of the stuff we see with us, where we have this rover guy. But to me, I'm like, I think some coordinators are trying to get too cute, man. Like what is this shit? Like, why would you not just get you got dudes? Where's 9 at? I like 9's big ass. 9, there he is. Big physical dude. Why is he in why are we all the way out here in a 4-eye like that? 3 technique 4-eye. I mean, like, put his big ass at nose, man. Like, what is this? I'm done with this. All right, let's watch Peak. Let's watch Peak. I can't. I got to turn this off, guys. I'm sorry. I can't, man. Yeah, this is about to bother me. He plays for NC State. Hell, we get to watch the running back too, right? We get to see both. What's a good game for them? Actually, don't even tell me why. I want to see a real game. Don't give me his best game. Florida State's got a good defensive line. Let's do Florida State. Let's watch them versus Florida State. Hold on. Let's pull the tape, man. Tape don't lie. You guys know the drill here, man. The tape does not lie. So let's see what it's talking about. Yeah, we get to watch a running back too, so this will be good. They ran wild against UVA. I kind of wanted just a real raw game, though. That's the only thing. 65. All right. I haven't seen the guy yet, but a lot more athletic. Peaks like 285, fits the DeBoer alignment in Washington. Yeah, I think the dude from Southern Cal, from without a doubt, that's probably like a body, like a depth piece, man. No knock on him. I mean, hell, if I were to meet the guy, of course we got to dislike somebody. Somebody's upset. We're honestly breaking down tape. Hey, if you guys haven't, man, hit that like button before we jump into this. But nah, man, I just only reason I'm being so harsh on that was because I just even if for like a depth piece, to me, I'm like, I just don't see how somebody on that staff, knowing this is the University of Alabama, could watch that tape that I just watched and say this guy could play football here at the University of Alabama. Like, no, and that's no disrespect. I'm just saying that tape was really that rough, man. That was hard to watch. I'm not kidding. That was hard to watch. So maybe a body, but still, even to get bodies out of the portal, man, you still got to pay money. And that just bothers me, man. We pass up on paying some of our guys to pay somebody like that. That I don't know, man. Some just feels a little weird about that. But I'll let them do their job. All right, left tackle and running back. So here we go. We're watching. If you guys are just tuning in, we got NC State pulled up. We're watching the left tackle Peak, who's coming on a visit. You said he's here today or he's coming tomorrow, but he's visiting Tuscaloosa. Top transfer portal offensive tackle. Then we got running back Smothers as well, just I guess as a byproduct since we're watching NC State. So here we go. All right, there we go. Smothers. Wait, that's Smothers, right? Wait, hold on. What number does he wear? You got to get on tonight with me. I don't know who that is, Dwight. Who is that? Wait, is it what number is Smothers again? Why do I feel like he wears a different number? I'm assuming that's him. I just want to make sure. No, he wears 3, right? That's him. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking he wore like 20-something. USC player. Maybe he wants to move home to a different spot. Well, ain't about what he wants. I mean, I'm cool. He can do whatever he wants. I'm saying if we're investing in a player like that, that means that's, taking money from somebody else. Could be even one of the guys here, right? I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be just letting people freely walk and stuff, my philosophy is you damn sure better be replacing them with somebody even better. At the minimum, somebody who you think is at least at the same level. Now, I agree with HaHa. Some of the guys that did walk, I mean, well, listen, we turned on the tape. I showed you guys. I mean, a lot of people immediately just saw some of the highlights that Keon Keeley had. I mean, I was the first one to point out on the tape, being like he had a lot of negatives on the tape too, but still, but I would rather build and work with a guy like that than, what we just watched. Anyway, all right, let's watch a tackle first. Let's see what we're working with. Not much to go off of there. He's got a 4-eye trying to get contained, so nice catch by Smothers. Split zone action. They did a nice job blocking that up front, man. Look at that hole. Damn, must be nice to see some open grass like that. They're running like a cross dogs. They're shooting both their backers and pick it up perfect. Great job by those offensive linemen. Ain't nothing but grass. I like Smothers, man. See the tight. Damn, he is. He's like long and athletic. You're right. How much y'all say he weighed? HaHa got on Twitter and chose violence. Folks have been in shambles. No, I thought everybody was agreeing with what HaHa was saying. Nah, listen. I thought it was kind of crazy that HaHa was tweeting that, like, just knowing that it's one thing if it's another former player, but he's like director of player personnel. I was like, damn, I'm surprised they didn't say nothing. But he's not wrong. Listen, that's the whole premise of why I always explain when there's people saying, whether there's fans or other people on platforms that are like, man, this guy should have been playing. Those coaches but these coaches see these guys 24/7. They see practice, not just games, and they know, like, again, I hate using Keon Keeley as an example. That's my guy. I love him. But, like, with the limited sample size you guys see, yes, when he gets in there, he finds himself around the football. Like, some guys are gamers. That's true. But as we pulled up the tape for Oklahoma when he had an expanded role with LT out, he's not ready for that real deal, full-time, load. There was a lot of stuff that would show you that no, that he's not there. So HaHa's not wrong. But my biggest thing, and I keep saying it, I'll say it time and time again, you can either bank on those guys you already have that you've been developing and trying to, retain a little bit more of that and keep working with them after you've invested. Like Keon Keeley, yeah, he's not ready to shit, but give him another year. You're still working with him. And they put a lot of time and effort with that kid, man. I know for a fact. Versus the guy we just saw, a little bit different of a player, but still, I'm like, come on, man. What's his size? I mean, is he for some reason he looks small on tape, but is he like 5'11", 200 pounds, something like that, smaller? I feel like he's taller than he looks on tape. He's listed at least, I think, is taller than what I thought he was. I like him though. He's going to be a big addition. Let's keep watching this tackle though. Smothers again. He's their whole offense. I like it though. I mean, he can catch a football out of the backfield. Good speed, elusive, great vision, hits the hole well. I like Smothers. All right, 65. Pulling. Oh, hold on now, 65. Don't let Earl Little do you like that. Hold on. All right, Earl. I mean, we got toss, but same kind of, scheme, right? The whole pin and pull action, which we like a lot, right? They're getting the toss here. That's a different back, but clearly this guy can run. I mean, you can clearly tell he's athletic. He's got good feet. I mean, pulling is no problem. Now, don't let no DB do that to you, 65. That boy Earl Little, boy, he loves some contact. I mean, off the jump, you can tell. I mean, definitely talking about a huge athletic upgrade at left tackle if you do get a guy like this. I mean, we haven't seen a whole bunch of clips, but you can just tell he's got long arms. I feel like for what this system requires, I mean, guys of this stature's going to be a much better fit than the likes of a guy like Proctor, without a doubt. Smothers back in there. Let's see. Blocking down and climbing up, man. Hey, listen, it's the simple things. I know it don't look like much on this clip, but even just seeing, look, I mean, Parker bang that hip a little bit. Don't want to get caught down too much, but this is what I like though. This past season, we were watching all this damn tape, and we're seeing guys that just are struggling to climb up to the next level. Now we got to get our hands inside. Now that's a holding penalty. We can't bear hug, guys, but we can check this box, man. He can climb up to the second level. Hat on a hat. We just got to fix the technique, man. That leads to holding penalties, but I'll take it. And we little boy and people. I like it. Let's see Smothers real quick. Yeah, just gotta get our hands inside, but like the fact he's climbed to the next level. All right, here we go. Pass pro. Straps. Hey, he's got some good length, man. I want to see him against like a real speed threat off the edge. You know what I mean? Like I want to see him really have to get in his kicks. I want to see him kick, right? I want to see him kick step. Florida State, they do a lot of, 4 eyes, tight fives. Like fives, a tweener do plays a little bit of tackle sometimes, I think. So I want to see him work some, because that's my biggest thing. You know what I mean? Like, we've struggled against speed rushers, right? Guys really hitting the edge, which I don't doubt he can do. I mean, I'm sure as athletic as he looks, I'm sure it's no problem. I just want to see it. But does a nice job getting his hands on guys for sure, utilizing the length. I don't know how long his arms are, but looks like he's got good length. Way off sides. What's up, guys? O-line coach clean house. No excuses this year. I don't even know if all of it was his choice, man. I think some of them guys were just ready for a change. But you're right, though. I mean, he's getting his pick, man. He's got his choices. Well, if I don't know how much they're allocating to it, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe we should look at it. I mean, Florida State, I like their defensive line, so I thought it'd be good to watch, but I want to see them go against some guys with some real speed off the edge. I'll do that in a second, though. We'll watch this a little bit more. He's going to put a hat on a hat, though. I mean, I like the physicality. We ain't got to be that patient. You can start climbing. But I like that, though. I mean, he's going to get physical. Only thing I'm seeing that he has a tendency. You see him doing it again. You see him wrapping his arms around. You know what I mean? He's got to work on using his hands, keeping inside hands, right? As an offensive lineman, that's key. We can't get caught. I like physicality, but you got to be careful with all that, though, man. That leads to holding penalties. Like, I like, hat on a hat, good leverage, right? I like all that, but next step, we got to all the wrapping the hands around the back. Can't do that. That's a bad habit. We got to get out of that habit. But I like him, though. I think it'd be shoot. I want to see him get some speed, but here we go. A little bit more. Nice first step. He does a good job, too. He's not just giving his hands. Sometimes tackles, what they'll do is, like for me as an edge rusher, I love when dudes will just try to sit there and immediately shoot. They're giving me something to work with, right? Because I just know I beat your hands, I beat you. And I get to some hand combat quick. He does a good job, right? See him holding it. He's keeping it close to the chest. He's waiting to punch. He's waiting to shoot. Working that outside arm. Then he shoots the inside arm. He's a good player. I mean, you can see it. He's a good football player. He moves well. What were his numbers? You guys know? Like pressures and sacks. You guys know me. I don't really pay attention to numbers, but Peepin versus Bain. Oh, great idea. Wait, NC State won the Joe Moore Award? Iowa had the best. Oh, you're talking about Iowa. Yeah. No, that's what I was about. I want to say they won the Joe Moore Award. I know they're really good. Listen, but here's the thing. And while that is true, so we did happen to watch that young man's tape against probably the best competition he faced all year. I want to see how he performs against good teams. I don't want to watch him perform against an underwhelming team because that's fool's gold. I want to see how he performs against a good offensive line because when you come to Alabama, you're going to be playing against good competition on a weekly basis. Because I had that thought. I was like, you know what, man? Pretty sure Iowa's a damn good offensive line. Then I thought about it. I'm like, but that's exactly what we want to watch, right? I mean, we want to see him against good competition. I don't want to watch him against a cupcake or a team that's just okay. I want to see him get challenged. And unfortunately, it didn't bode well. But yeah, I like 65 so far. I'm going to pull him up versus Bain. But like I said, the only thing is we got to get out of this tendency of grabbing people, like bear hugging people. But he's doing it again, right? I mean, it's every time. You see what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'll say so far that I don't like. I mean, as an offensive lineman, like everything is about hand usage. You got to use your hands, right? got to keep your hands inside, because if your hands are inside, I mean, you can hold and grab. Like, I don't know if people like realize this, but in football, like, it's not holding unless your hands are outside, right? Or if a guy's extended and he's trying to get off, he's trying to disengage the block, and you're still holding. But if you've got tight hands inside and you're right here on the pads, you can hold those guys all day. But you can't do that when we're wrapping around guys and we're bear hugging like that. We got to fix that. That's a bad habit. But again, this is just me breaking it down like a coach would. I still like the guy. I think it definitely could be a big pickup. That's all coaching. We can work with that. Well, you would hope. I hope our coaches could get him out of that habit. Yeah, let's pull up. Let's see Miami. That's a great idea. Let's see Miami. Is there somebody else you guys wanted me to pull up while we got the tape pulled up? 13 pressures and 3 sacks in his 3-year career. Love it. Love it. Let me pull this up real quick. Versus Miami. That's a damn good one. Please let that. Wait, Miami defense. No, we need the other one. We need Miami offense. NC State defense versus Miami. There we go. There we go. This is what I want to see. Wait, hold on. Wait. I need NC State offense. I'm tripping, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Hold on one second. We need Miami defense versus NC State. There we go. Here we go. All right, come on. Don't let me down, dude. Come on, man. Don't let me down. Please don't let me down. Only gave up 1 overall sack in that game. NC State did. Wait, Smollers had -2 yards against Miami? Hold on. Really? Damn. Did he really? Maybe he got hurt. I didn't watch the game, so I have no idea. Damn, 7 carries, -2 yards. Whew. All right, now y'all got me worried, man. Now I'm like, oh, man. It's all good, man. We got to see it. That's what the box score says. They only rushed like 27. Damn. Boy, Miami, I'm telling you. But see, this is why I take it so personal when I'm like looking at who we're looking at bringing in on defensive line. Because I'm like, this should be our standard, man. Like, these dudes, like, this should be our standard. I get we need bodies, but, man, I like, come on, man. This should be our standard. All right, let's see what we got. All right, cool. And the tights from behind, so. I like, and 3 is a good player too. Dez, whatever his guy's name is, I like him a lot. He's a damn good player too. So this is gonna be a good. This is gonna be a good test. The stats are kind of scaring me, but we'll see. All right, he's got Bane on him. I don't like the false step. I mean, again, I don't know their coach, but false steps in football, man. False step is just when you kind of step underneath yourself, but a little bit of a false step. Let's see. Not a bad route. That joker's strong too, man. Bane is different, boy. I mean, it's 275 that's strong like that, but can bend. Dude's different. So we gotta be careful on this one. I mean, I know I want to see against good competition, but I don't want to that guy Bain is good, probably a top 10 draft pick. So we got to keep that in mind. That said, watch his feet. But again, I mean, you got to think about it too, right? I mean, nobody's ever really going to be perfect. So if you got a tackle that's going to be a little bit more athletic, they're probably going to be a little bit more susceptible to power. You know, a guy like Proctor going to be stronger, probably can squat, sit down a little bit, be a little more firm against power. He's going to struggle against speed. So kind of makes sense. I mean, this guy's probably going to maybe struggle a little bit when it comes to this, speed to power. I guess it's kind of expected, but let's keep going. Nice job there. Because these are going to be some good matchups. I mean, both those dudes, 3 and 4, I mean, they're dogs. But he smothers the dude, does a good job, gets the job done. That's what matters. So I was trying to watch Smothers a little bit. There you go. It's a good rep. Well, Christian, if it doesn't get something that works, so Debo not going to be around much longer. I recommend him for accepting the challenge. Or I commend him for accepting the challenge. Go to a different game. Iowa had the best line in the country. So they're going to make everyone look bad. Nah, that ain't true. That ain't true, gang. Big number 9, he was holding his own. I know they're different players, but listen, just like we're watching this guy against the best D-line, right? I mean, I ain't going into another game. We saw what we saw. I'll pull up one other game to give him one more chance. We watched him against Oregon, and it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't getting bullied like that, but it still wasn't anything to really run home about. Oh, he got injured in this game, so he was limited. So Smothers got hurt. Nah, trying to tell me to go watch a different game. Oh, they're the best offense. Nah, that's what we want to see. Y'all want to get the real picture of who we're bringing in, or y'all want to just see some tape that makes you feel a little bit better, but it's not the reality. Come on, man. We got to be real on here. You're right. We shouldn't go off of just one game. We'll pull up another one, but we did. Yesterday we watched Oregon, and that was the second one. But I'll give him one more. I'll give him one more opportunity. Good recovery. Nice spin right here. Them boys are active in Miami, man. I mean, they just got dudes that know how to get after the quarterback, but their freaking D-line coach is Jason Taylor, man. Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. I mean, it's like, what do you expect? All right, getting out in the screen game and going the other way, but nice. Only thing about watching O-line tape, I'm not going to lie, guys, sometimes it's a little boring, but got to do it, man. Got to do it. Hold on, big fella. What is going on? I mean, I would say like my initial assessment, I mean, I definitely think more of an athlete than you got out of Caden Proctor. He looks to be physical. Now, he's not. Let me pull up I think you guys said, somebody said like 280. Somebody said 300. What's his first name? I'm just going to type in Peak, North Carolina State. That should come up. Let me get his numbers. Where's his height and weight? Do they not list that online anymore? Why would that not be on the team website? That's weird. Go to ESPN. Oh, he's listed at 298. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of expected, right? I mean, if you're getting a tackle that's sub 300 pounds, I mean, you're not expecting him to be the strongest, most powerful guy, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? Like we're seeing here. So, I mean, like, again, this is why we watch all this tape, because helps you form a true opinion around a dude, like without just seeing a couple clips. He's susceptible to power. Now, granted, he doesn't have great leverage here. He's kind of standing straight up. See when he gets right there, right? I mean, and it's a great job by Bain, who isn't the tallest guy himself. So he's going to naturally have better leverage, and he's very explosive and very powerful. But you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, a bigger offensive tackle like Proctor. There's sometimes Proctor, he got walked back some, but like not like you probably would see out of a guy like this. So, it's kind of like when you make a player on 2K. You know what I mean? You can't make a 7-foot guy that has the same skill as a point guard. It's not realistic. But he got pretty good footwork. When he's blocking the running game, he tries to be physical. He's got to work on his hands. We're getting smothered right here by Bain, but again, man, you're talking about probably a top 10 pick. Man, that's disrespectful. Even pointed at him. I mean, I like him. I mean, now, would I say he's the most impressive tackle that I've ever seen? No. But I think he's a good player. I definitely think he could, without a doubt, come in here and help us out. Don't we want smaller O-line, people with quick feet? Listen, I mean, I'll let you probably ask Coach DeBoer or what's his name, Grubb, and tell you for sure. We probably should go back and watch some old Washington tape. They do like a lot of pin and pull, a lot of lateral movement. They used to run a good bit of inside zone. So I wouldn't necessarily say like smaller guys, but yeah, it's ideal. If you're running a lot of zone scheme, you need a little bit more athleticism, right? So zone scheme is more you're blocking zones, blocking space. So you see a lot more lateral movement. Gap scheme, counter, power, duo, things of that nature. You're trying to get hats. Like we like to say, a hat on a hat. You know what I mean? Bigger, more physical guys are more fit for that scheme. We run a little bit of, I wouldn't say like a little bit of everything, but we've run, inside zone, we've run duo, we've run pin and pull. So yeah, I think guys with good footwork, I think that's probably a better way to put it. I don't like saying smaller guys because I mean you need guys that can hold their own, But how do we get our physicality back? It's not that we lose a game, it's how we lose. Yeah. Listen, that's the players. You know what I mean? It starts with the guys. Number one, there's two things. Your coaches, the culture, right? That's a huge piece of it. With other pieces, the guys you're bringing in, right? So if you're talking about establishing physicality and dominant trench play, dominating the line of scrimmage, the tape we saw from the Southern Cal guy, I mean, like, with all due respect, like you bring guys in like that, you're not going to see a resurge of that type of play. That's just a fact. I mean, it would be foolish to expect that. You know what I mean? Especially when it's somebody, if he was in high school, maybe like I said yesterday on the show, I mean, it's straight up. When I got here, I will fully admit to you guys, I was not a very physical player. It made sense. It wasn't I was, soft. It was more so I was 205 pounds. You know what I mean? Like and I wasn't used to having to get down and bump like I had to do when I got here. The way I played in high school, I played off the edge. I played outside backer, stack backer, and things like that. I was so athletic. I was used to just running around people. I wasn't used to having to close on counter and spill, coming out of my hips in a 6 technique against converted defensive tackles over to tight ends. I wasn't used to that shit. So, yeah, I mean, I had to, but I learned and developed it. The problem is you can't always rely on that because majority of the time, a guy is who he is. If a guy is soft, he shows you that on tape, that's what he's going to be. Fortunately, with my situation, it wasn't like I was just soft. It just was I was small, and I had to learn and develop that. But the fact was that I was inserting myself in a culture and surrounding myself by guys like Scott Cochran, Coach Saban with his intensity of the practices, the football players themselves that I was practicing against every day. I knew that was why I wanted to come to Alabama because I knew I'm like, shit, I'm small and skinny right now, but if I go to Alabama, I sit in that weight room long enough, all those hours after practice. I mean, guys like Derrick Henry in there, we're all getting extra work. Like I knew one day I would become that. Now, I wouldn't say I'm built like Derrick Henry by any means, but I left weighing 247 pounds. And you guys can go pull up my tape. We watch tape. Y'all, please pull up my senior tape. Like anybody used to say, like, oh, well, he's smaller, he can't set the edge. That's cap. Go watch my tape. For my senior year, I was physical, set the edge, all that. You know what I mean? Like, so to answer the question, it starts with the personnel, it starts with the culture, it starts with the coaches. But it's ultimately a mindset, man. Like, you have to just each and every day you make that decision. And like when we used to do, team run drills, right? When it's just straight up team run, we're doing what's it called? The drill we used to do is basically half line drill. It's not Oklahoma drill, but it is like half line. You'd have like center guard tackle, and backer, inside backer. And like we're just doing straight, just like running schemes, but you're splitting it, right? You're doing half. That builds character. You got Cochran hollering and yelling and whistles blowing. I mean, like, bro, the way we practice at such a high intensity. We had no choice but to be tough and physical because that was our whole identity. We're going to beat the shit out of each other every single day. That way, when game day comes, the shit's a breeze. It feels like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's natural because we're literally doing it every single day to each other to the point where we're sick and tired of hitting and fighting each other. We're going to fight somebody else. You're over the moon about Russell, but what about Mac? I've heard you not mention any kind of analysis about him. Wait, the dude's got a can. Wait. Maybe he's like back on the stream. I don't know what that guy's talking about. We talked about both of them. What are you talking about? I've heard you're not mentioning it. Heard from who? Brother, you can't think for yourself. I mean, just listen to the stream. Well, what do you mean I'm not offering an analysis? What do you want to know about? I talked about those guys. He must be behind on the stream, brother. I've offered plenty of analysis. I talked about both those guys. I mean, do you want me to break down their drops, their hitches? I mean, like, respectfully, I don't go like over the top with some of these analysis because I mean, like, we're not sitting in a meeting room with NFL personnel. These are like fans and listeners of Alabama football that want to learn. You know what I mean? So, you don't want to overcomplicate the stuff. But if you want me to break it down even more in depth, I mean, if you show me that you're capable of handling that, I'll do it. I already got a feeling how this is how this offseason is going to be. It's going to be one of these things where people are going back and forth about the whole quarterback thing. When we clearly said either way you go, I think you're in great hands. I even said, matter of fact, Mac right now, as of today, would be the more ready option. I just said personally, fast forwarding to after they go through spring, summer with the 7-on-7 program, all those things, fall camp, all that time to develop. Personally, I just feel like Keelan Russell, with his skill set and the traits that he has, he's going to catch up in some of those areas that he might be lacking right now due to his inexperience in his youth. I complimented Austin. I like Austin Mack. I think he's great. I was talking about his first series. He was very impressive against that Indiana defense. Now it came back to reality once, you know what I mean? Stuff started settling in, which is expected. But no, I like him a lot. I think honestly, either one of those guys gives you a chance to win plenty of football games next season. I wasn't as high on Mac when he initially got here as some other people because I was watching all these guys in person. I mean, I was going to like every practice. And he was streaky. He'd have a day where he would be very impressive. Then another day where, I mean, he would dirt some footballs and have some turnovers. And I even said that about Keelan Russell. Like, that's why everybody was calling for Keelan Russell. Keelan Russell wasn't ready. I mean, I watched Keelan make all types of plays in practice, improvising on the run, a lot of zip on his pass, but I also watched him throw a number of, interceptions in practice, which is expected. He's a true freshman. I think people just come on here and just talk out the side. I don't know how that dude came up with that comment, but anyway, Russell looks more polished, but I think Russell. Wait, maybe you repeated that. Wait, Russell looks more polished, but I think Russell could take it for sure. I would say right now, to me, Austin Mack's probably a little more polished because of the experience. He's older. He's been in the system longer. But without a doubt, I think Keelan Russell has a higher ceiling. And that's why I'm saying I think he advances a lot through the next 8 months or so. The only reports I want to hear about this offseason is offensive, defensive line. That's the most important. That's why we're breaking it down. Devin Tomkins from Stockton, which is a high crime area. That tape looks like he's from. Y'all, all right, Smitty. All right, come on, man. Chill with the jokes, Smitty. Come on, man. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this. Nice pass off. It's a backside block. Skip that. Yeah, I mean, I think this dude's solid. I mean, I definitely think if you can get a guy like this, 100% you take him. Easily better than any option that we have right now, right? Definitely some stuff he could work on for sure. But without a doubt, if you can get a guy like this, you take him. Just got to finish right here. Decent job initially. I mean, he kicks well. I mean, he's got good footwork, right? Again, he's not a bigger tackle, so not gonna say he gets pushed around some, but you can see, you know what I mean, a little bit harder for him to really sit down on things. He's got to finish right there, but he's a good player. Definitely think he can help out. He must be behind on stream. We never heard bad. So yeah, well, even if he was back at like the That's why I'm like, what is he talking about? But like I said, you got some people that just come on here and they just talk whatever. It's all good. It's part of it, man. We need homeless guys on the defensive line. Not what that tape was. And I promise it's not to like talk bad about any of our new additions. It's just I want y'all to see the same tape that I watch. And then y'all will understand, like, when we come on here and we're honest about stuff, it's why. Like, that tape really just had me scratching my head. I'm gonna give him one more chance though. Peak will be great because it allows Jackson Lloyd another season to develop. Yeah, for sure. And I think Jackson Lloyd has a chance to be a good football player, 100%. Like seeing him, was he early enrollee? I want to say he was here in the spring, but I got to watch him when he first got here, and he's got a lot of good tools to work with. For a big guy, I think he's like 6'7", really good length. He's a very athletic guy. Remember, he had those clips of him dunking and playing basketball out of high school. But I think he's going to develop nicely. But if you can get a guy like this, like an immediate guy, like you're saying, Smitty, that way you're not necessarily reliant on him, like a young player, to immediately be your blindside protection. I think that's the right move. No quarterback can succeed without a decent running game and offensive line running. Brother, if I had $1 for every time I've made that comment over the last 3 years, I would probably not be sitting here right now. I'm just playing. You're 100% right. Yeah, we say that day in and day out, man. That's why I'm hoping that they address all this. How does Hollywood at running back help this new offense? How does he help the new offensive line next year? I mean, I think it's kind of the opposite. I think it's how do they help him. I just think having a back has proven production that you turn on the tape. I mean, he can do everything you need him to do. I think he can be the guy that you give majority of the carries to. You're seeing his ability to catch a football out of the backfield. He's got some juice to him, got good speed. The vision stands out, something that was lacking with us. I mean, our guys, man, like there were sometimes I thought they were one of the three blind mice, I mean, this guy does a good job, good sense of hitting the hole, putting his foot in the ground, good burst. So I think he helps you out with that. In short, explosive ability. I don't see anybody in our running back room, or I didn't from this past year, that gave me the confidence of having like real explosive ability. Daniel Hill is solid of a back as he has the potential of being He's a 245-pound guy. He's not going to have that breakaway speed, that real explosive ability from that sense. Jam close to it, but I think Jam, whether it was the injuries or whatnot, he just was a little inconsistent this year. I wouldn't necessarily say he had that true breakaway speed either, but definitely was one of those guys that could have been your lead guy, just really inconsistent. Kevin Riley, not a lead guy. He's more of a feature guy. And then you have AK Deer, who, if he can develop, I think he can end up being one of those guys that can kind of do everything you need him to do. But the problem is all that. It's all potential. And in this day and age in college football, you can't sit there and hold on to hope that, hey, one of these top recruited guys, even the Crowell guy, I loved his tape, but he's like going to be like Ryan. He's supposed to be a senior in high school. Do you want to over rely on that guy when you have a glaring need to improve the running game? This guy gives you the confidence that, hey, he can come in here and give us that explosive ability, give us that spark that we desperately need. Yes, I know you got to fix the offensive line first, guys. Trust me, man. I played this game since I was 4 years old, man. I get that part. But you also still need guys that have the potential when those things open up. I wish Daniel Hill played behind his pads. Yeah, that's the only thing. For being so big, he's got to learn how to utilize his size and play behind his pads. I agree. Jam lacked the ability to press the hole. Yeah, and listen, there's times where as a back you're supposed to be a little more patient, and there's other times you really got to hit the hole. I mean, and that's on the running back coach, though. You know what I mean? To really get those guys developed, right? I mean, there's talent in that room, but we just got to get out of these guys. I think our room would be okay now that we brought this guy in. That gives you some confidence, knowing that you got one for sure, and you just trust. Even just bringing this guy in probably elevates the room too. Strictly off of competition. I guarantee you, watch those guys play a lot better now. You're bringing another guy in here, because this isn't like the guy we brought in from was it ULM or wherever it was, Louisiana, whatever. He didn't really play. Played some special teams. Had a big play against that in that Missouri game. But no, this guy. I mean, they're bringing Hollywood in to be a key contributor. So best believe them other guys are going to start upping their game too. All right, we'll watch a few more clips. I think we got a pretty decent idea. Like I said, he's got good footwork, as you'd expect out of a leaner tackle. That's bad technique right there. But again, this is what happens when you have a really good edge rusher, man, who he bullied you a little bit on the bull rush. Now what's this guy doing? He's trying to brace. He's ducking his head. He's saying, man, this dude just walked my ass back a couple of times. Let me brace. And this is exactly what a damn good pass rusher does. He counters. Immediately swims across. So that's why I said, I mean, still some room for this guy to grow and develop. Like, I wouldn't say he's like an immediate day one draft pick, so to speak, but definitely some good potential there. And you can, without a doubt, put him in there and feel confident, at least knowing you got a left tackle that has plenty of experience and that he can play. So those are my thoughts on him. See Robert hugging again. We got to get out that habit. See it? Really bad habit of that. We got to get out of that. I believe Hill and Riley are specialists. Hill could be a nice short yardage hammer, but he don't really run like that hammer. You know what I mean? Like at times, but you know what I mean? Not as much as he probably could. No, but all the guys we have, that's what I'm saying. The guys we have in the room right now, I think they're all great in that respect, like guys to split carries. I just don't see one guy in our room right now that you feel like is like your bell cow, like your main contributor at running back. And that's why they brought this guy in, I think. I think I know. You know, because watch, I mean, now that you have him and you have those other guys that you can just roll in there, it's going to elevate their game. How do you feel like our development is as a staff? I think it's the most important. It is one of the biggest things. It's a little bit different now because you rely so much on the portal. How do I view ours right now? Like, how would I say this? I mean, let's do a quick little recap. Secondary, I would argue they're doing a pretty damn good job secondary wise. I mean, they've taken Xavier Brown, now DJ Lee. Granted, those are 2 5-star players, so you already knew they're really good players, but you're seeing how those guys are developing. You're pleased with that. Bray Hubbard's been playing some good football. Even young guys, I mean, like Dre Kirkpatrick, seeing him in the limited time. I mean, I feel like secondary-wise, there's some good development there. Linebacker is kind of tough because, I mean, I think Kane was just working with them the first year. Then you got the other guy. Well, actually, the other guy who's there now, he was working with them. He won, an official on-field assistant, but they got better over the course of the year. I wouldn't say it's probably, linebacker, I think I'm still kind of waiting on that one, but at least they played better over the course of the year. I think D-line's been solid. Would I like to see more pass rush development out of the group? If I'm being completely honest, yeah, I would. Like when I watch these guys rush and like the tools and things that they're using, it's a little more advanced than what we have. Now, could that be attributed to maybe the players, the personnel we have aren't the best fit to be doing some of that stuff? Could be. But I would say this, like I said yesterday, I feel like with D-line, it's not as much of the development side as it is we haven't recruited well at defensive line. We haven't brought in nearly as many players, you know what I mean, that had the talent level of some of the other players that we had in the past in recent years. So, but if you look at, 90, Simmons, you look at his development, that's attributed to the coaching staff. You know what I mean? Like he was a 3-star freshman out of Mississippi, and look how much he contributed for us. So I would just say for defensive line, I think there could be a little bit of, a little bit more in the pass rush development there. Even the same thing, I'll say the same thing at outside backer. I think you could have some more pass rush development there, but linebackers struggle with gap integrity. But see, I don't think that's so much development as it is more of the scheme. Justin Hill's coming along really nice, yeah. Lawson was terrible at filling gaps. But again, I think, guys, that's more of the scheme. You get what I'm saying? Plus, those are also older guys. All the linebackers are all older guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm waiting. Now, if we have some young guys step up and they're, really impressive players, I'll say a little bit different. Then on the other side of things, I'll be honest with you. Offensive line, I think we already kind of know the answer there. Receiver, I was kind of shocked. I'm not going to lie to you because I thought receiver would have been, without a doubt, the position that we all had the most confidence in terms of development, given, Shepard, what he did at Washington, just how he was as a football coach. But seeing Ryan struggle this year, Jeremy Bernard was great. Yeah, QB Reese looked pretty good when he got some opportunities. And then what's running backs? Kind of disappointed with that development. Not kind of. I think that was those guys weren't where they needed to be. Quarterback, I think, is pretty decent. Seeing how everybody's looked. I know Ty struggled towards the second half, but again, there's some other things involved with that. Not to mention when you saw the younger guys, they look pretty good. They look like they're coming along, but you got to replace Nick Sheridan, so we'll see. Indiana guards, road great loss. But again, I think the way you play things, if you're letting guys, run around blocks, right? Sometimes that's going to happen. If you're not striking and really attack. That's why I like 41, the way 41 played, man. But it's weird because it's like you see him play one way, then the other guys, I'm seeing some of them avoid, whatever. So I'm almost like, I feel like they're kind of letting them do as they please. We didn't really have a choice. Like if a coach saw us avoid, like instead we got like something like a guards climbing or something like that, and linebacker avoids, no, they ain't letting that slide. What I mean is we'd have a hole covered by the D-line. Linebacker would fail put a hat on a hat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we would be avoiding blocks. Instead of putting a hat on a hat, we're running around and then it's opening up holes. I think that's more of a scheme. Because you're either coaching it or you're allowing it. What do you expect from Big Steve? My honest opinion on Big Steve, he's funny as hell. Listen, that dude is strong as an ox. But he hadn't played much football. He's got a long way to go to be a key contributor. I mean, but he's like one of those raw products that you bring in here, man, like, you hope that he can one day figure it out because, boy, if he figures it out, he could move a mountain. But he's a long ways out, man. He's a long ways out. I don't think our backs are taught to keep their feet moving and lean forward. Only one that I feel like really ran like that would be like Kevin Riley. It's like they brace for collision. I mean that's more to do with the guys themselves, though. You know what I mean? Like that's the physicality piece, man. Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to watch another. I'll say this: I want to watch another game. I can't go only off of what we saw against Bain. We saw the other one, and I think what I got is what I got. But I still want to watch another game. Anybody else, real quick, that you guys want me to pull up, or any other tape while we're sitting right here? Hell, we've been sitting here for a minute. I don't know if there's any more news or new news that's happened. Hell yeah, we're at 140 with the likes, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock, man. Christian, if you were a coach today, how would you handle NIL? I'm gonna tell you right now. That's why I can't do it. I wouldn't put up with it. I mean, I couldn't do it, man. Like, if you guys knew what I knew when it comes to this stuff, I promise you guys, you would be sick to y'all's stomach. You'd be like, bro, there's no way it's gotten to that point, but it has. Oh, Michael Carroll was the one that re-signed? That was the big surprise. I mean, didn't he already come out? I mean, he already said that he was coming back. I mean, he celebrating with his teammate committing. That's good though, but he deserves. I saw, Latzia Brooks, Michael Carroll. But see, like, that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, reward these guys that earn it. So on one hand, I completely understand that. Those guys, Michael Carroll, he earned it. Latzia Brooks earned it. I know Rico Scott didn't play a whole bunch, but like, just watching how he contributed, man, he's a tough guy. I mean, he does everything you ask him to do, and I think he's definitely even if it's receiver, you really only play 5 guys max, really. Even if he's that 5th guy, I think he's a key piece. Those guys they earn it. 90 Simmons. He better they better pay him some bread. Christian, what's up, man? Roll Tide. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, that was kind of underwhelming news. I agree, Carson, because it was. I think he already said he was coming back. So, best believe I would have my black forces on if I was coaching. But all seriousness, how would I handle it? This is what I would do. Every year, I would assess my roster. I would try to do my best to build from within, develop guys, recruit, especially here, right? We can recruit well. But I also understand that what comes with that is each year, even if a guy plays or doesn't play, they're going to be expecting more money. You got to navigate that, and it's not easy. But what I would do is I would take the approach that I don't really care where these guys come from or what stars they had or whatever. I'm gonna watch the tape, and I want guys that fit what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to get a guy just because he's coming from a big program and he's got great measurables. If the tape shows me something different and it ain't what I want, if he ain't physical, if he's not going to help, build on the culture that I'm trying to establish, I don't want him. I'll go get I want somebody that fits what I'm doing. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you need the Jimmys and Joes, but you got to have a culture around it too, man. You do. So that's how I would try to do it. I mean, I would really try to build from within, develop from within, but I would address needs. But I would do it accordingly, and I would be very strategic with it. I mean, I wouldn't just be throwing money out there, but I would know that if there's somebody that I think really could help this team and fits exactly what we want to do, I would try to invest the best that I could. Shoeless Joe. Dale culture. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Man, I'm trying to think. You mentioned that offensive lineman. Did he play at Michigan, guys? If there's a game that he played in, just real quick, But I know he redshirted, but did he play? I know you mentioned wide receivers earlier. I think having Knicks with the receivers will elevate that wide receiver core significantly. The Barn was constantly one drive away from winning every game. That a quarterback head coach. Yeah. I think he's a great addition. I mean, with his experience in the SEC, I even think from even the standpoint that he's coached running backs a lot too. We're saying we have a struggling running game. Let him add some input there. It's not going to hurt nothing. But yeah, hopefully he can help develop those guys. He does have experience coaching receivers too. Which when he was at Auburn, I think he was the running backs coach at Auburn. But I always say, I mean, just having an extra set of eyes and ears, man, just in that meeting room. I mean, he can offer his opinion, his perspective on what he's seeing. I know he's a receivers coach, but he's still a coach on the staff. Maybe that just, is beneficial. Yeah, co-OC and receiver. Yeah, exactly. And I thought, I mean, again, I'm not saying he helps out with play calling, but I thought, because he's the one that took over for the play calling, I thought once Hugh Freeze was gone, they looked a lot better as a football team. Would you scour successful FCS teams for developed talent if they fit what we're doing? And I think they're a quality player. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't just say, oh, this guy dominated the FCS. Let's just try to go get him. To me, you guys know me. I'm all about tape. Tape does not lie. And that's what these coaches are doing. But, like, there's going to be some people that you're like, hey, we need a body. No, man, I'm going off of tape. I'd rather get another body that might not be a popular deal, but if the tape says a different story, I'll take that guy. Illinois State running back, I haven't watched him. That dude from Arizona State he has some nice film. But I like Smothers too, man. I was good either way. What about defensive schemes now compared to when you played? A lot different. A lot more three-man. See a lot more three-man fronts now. Some 3-3 stack type stuff. Mint front is very popular, tight front. It's just changed, man. And it's because the game has changed. The offenses have changed. You see a lot more skill on the field, right? Not a lot more 11 personnel spreading you out. It's tough. A lot more +1 quarterback run. It's no longer only the teams that have a true dual threat guy. I mean, you almost have to prep for that with a number of teams when you typically wouldn't expect that. So your personnel has changed dramatically. Linebackers, they look a lot different. You don't see the big 250-pound backers like that. A lot of backers now, 225, 230. Got to be rangy. Got to have guys that can run. Coverages have had to change a lot. You're seeing a lot more different looks. I mean, we're seeing, 3 deep safeties a little bit more often now. Because a lot of people are trying to push the football down the field, aiming for explosive plays. So it's changed a lot. You don't see as much of the, traditional 3-4 packages. You see it some when teams line up in 12 personnel, but outside of that, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it's really nickel. That's why when everybody was complaining about Kane Wommack's 4-2-5, I'm like, guys, all of college football is playing nickel right now. Like 80% of the time, you literally have to. It's about matching personnel. You have to play. You have to play nickel, or else you're putting yourself in a bad situation. And you're asking a 245, 250-pound outside linebacker to play in space on slot guys. You don't want that. Trust me. You don't want that. Yeah, I don't know if the guy from Michigan played, guys, or what game. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Does he have height? I mean, I think he played like guard or tackle in high school, so I don't. What is his name? Caden Strayhorn. Let's see. He appeared in 2 games, including the Citrus Bowl against Texas during his lone year. In the Citrus Bowl, he logged 80 snaps. Okay, there's our answer. Who do they play? Texas. Let's see. Citrus Bowl versus Texas. I might not have it. Man, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think I have it on here right now. Yeah, their bowl game, yeah. Yeah, I don't have it on here, unfortunately. I'll try to find it that way we can watch tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna get out of here. I gotta get some lunch in me, guys. I ain't gonna lie. All this overtime we've been doing, man. I've been working. Not only that, then watching this tape. I've been like full go, man. I'm over here growing my beard out, man. Been working, but we enjoy it, man. We enjoy the grind. We've been growing. I mean, it's been great, man. Seriously, I can't thank you guys enough, man. Finally getting some rightfully deserved recognition. I feel like, man, we've been putting in some work over here, and finally people are being put on game. But thank you guys so much, seriously, for everything. And we're gonna keep on doing it tomorrow. We've got Brandon Clear, by the way, who's going to be joining us. He was the former Clemson wide receiver that called in last week. I know you guys really enjoyed him, so I got him scheduled to join us tomorrow. We're going to talk about this, talk about some other stuff. So we'll be joined by him. I think Slade's jumping back on, former Alabama wide receiver. So we'll talk with him as well. And then I'll get my dad back on here as well at some point, maybe even Friday, because I know a lot of people enjoyed that, and that was quite the stream. So that being said, I appreciate you as always. If you haven't, just hit that like button on the way out. We always appreciate that. Subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. More breakdowns, more analysis, more everything coming at you. We're just getting started, and it's going to keep coming at you. So don't miss out on it. Subscribe, follow us on all that stuff, and you'll stay up to date. And we look forward to seeing. Wait, hold on. What's Smitty say before you go? WWE has a bitter star and Trick. What is it? Oh yeah. I'm a big WWE guy. For anybody that didn't know, but yeah, no, Trick Williams, man, I'm excited. He's a Columbia guy. At least he went to South Carolina. I don't know if he's from Columbia necessarily, but he's definitely he's got ties there. So yeah, I'm a fan, man. And Big Oba, he left NXT last night, and he's on his way to the big dogs, man, the main roster. So for sure, maybe we'll talk about wrestling one day. Who knows? But as always, seriously, I appreciate you guys, and look forward to doing it again tomorrow. Make sure you follow us on Twitter too, because I'll keep posting some of those those snippet clips. So if anybody commits or whatever, I'll go and watch their tape and post some little things. That way you can see and give you guys my initial analysis before we hop on here. But that'll do it for us today. We look forward